cheerleaders have put the new big Oak Ridge High School banner, and of course the guys will be coming out to run through that. Kevin, you've seen this Ravenwood team play. They're an outstanding team. They're led by a fine quarterback. They've got a good running back. Should be an exciting ball game.
Yes, it really should, David. I think that you're going to see two teams match up here this evening. I think that you're going to see something on the offensive side from Ravenwood that Oak Ridge has not seen all year. It's going to be a very interesting matchup to see how Oak Ridge handles the spread type of offense that Ravenwood will throw at them this evening. On the other side of the ball, Oak Ridge is going to come out and they're going to, look to get the ball into their playmakers' hands. Spencer Gulmire and Ravel Coffey let their quarterback Connor Gulmire do what he does behind the center. If Oak Ridge can do that, hopefully they can be successful here this evening.
The senior captains have come out of the tunnel, and they're getting ready to go out onto the field. We're on AM 1290 WATO, Oak Ridge Schools Television Channel 15, and on the internet, prepradio.com. It's the state championship ball game, live from Middle Tennessee State University, the Wildcats, and the Ravenwood Raptors. Let's take a break. We'll send it back to our engineer at the station, Darren Creek. When we come back, we'll have the kickoff of this ball game, the National Anthem about to be played here. We'll be back to Middle Tennessee State University following this timeout.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please remain standing for our National Anthem by the Oak Ridge High School Band.
David Clary, Kevin McKeithen back here along with Scott Munger and Aaron Vargas, our engineer, our camera personnel tonight. We have Michael Davis on top. Down below we have Taylor Lane along with Josh Murray and Brian Solmonson doing our camera work. The captains for the two teams are out at the center of the field. Basically the whole senior class out there. The Wildcats have Spencer Gulmire along with Ravel Coffey. Wildcats also have, and Kevin, I can't quite see the other ones. I think that one might be Tyler Trent down there. Can't get a good view of it. These officials are from the Knoxville area as the toss of the coin has been made, and I believe by the signal looks like Ravenwood has won the toss. And this state championship game just a few minutes away from getting underway.
Everybody's getting really excited here, David. I'm sure the players right now, especially these seniors who are out in the middle of the field, celebrating their season by being captains, are getting very nervous right about now. Oak Ridge representing a fine tradition. They haven't been in 14 years, I believe, since 1991. It's going to be interesting to see how these two teams come out and take on each other here in the first part of this football game.
Both teams only have one loss. The Wildcats' lone loss coming to the Ooltewah Owls, while Ravenwood lost the first ball game of the year to the Brentwood Academy team, and then after that, they've basically won 13 in a row.
They're on a roll right now, David. That's one thing that kind of like the vibe that I got from going down to the Brentwood area last week to watch Ravenwood take on a very talented and athletic Ridgeway team that all of the fans down in Ravenwood are very, very impressed with this young coaching staff that Ravenwood High School has. And it's going to be very interesting to see how they come out and adjust to the very talented and athletic Oak Ridge team and their task tonight as well.
The Wildcat captains have gone back into the tunnels, so the entire team will be coming back out here in a few short moments. This is the state championship game, and as we mentioned, Scott Munger is here. He'll be joining us a bit later on the broadcast as the Wildcats are beginning to make their way out of the tunnel. And I know, Kevin, you played 4 years in the program here, never got a chance to play in a state championship game. What do you think these guys are thinking right now?
You know, David, right now I'm sure that this is kind of surreal for these guys right now. They're going out and, you know, they finally reached a goal that no Oak Ridge team has reached since 1991. This is something that every Oak Ridge high school team sets each and every single year, even though that Oak Ridge hasn't been since 1991. All of the teams over the last 14 years, their goal at the beginning of the year is to get out and to advance through the region, advance through the playoffs, and to make the state championship game. And this Oak Ridge Wildcat team has been fortunate enough and talented enough and determined enough to get to this point in the season. Hopefully they can go out and finish off the job tonight here at Middle Tennessee State University.
The Wildcats are massed behind the large Oak Ridge Wildcats sign, and they're getting ready to come onto the field here at Middle Tennessee State for this state championship ball game. The Wildcats and the Ravenwood Raptors. As you can see, the guys are beginning to jump up and down behind the sign, and that means they're about ready to come onto the field here at Middle Tennessee. And here come the Wildcats onto the field here, and we're just moments away from the start of this ball game. Of course, tonight, Kevin, the game is being broadcast live all over the state of Tennessee, so there'll be some television timeouts, which is going to be kind of interesting. You're used to watching games on television. It sometimes gets a little bit annoying, but we'll be able to sit through there and get a chance to take in this whole atmosphere. Right now, the weather's pretty good. It kind of warmed up earlier today when we went to Tennessee Tech. It was freezing cold, but the weather seems to be just fine right now.
Yes, it does, David. Earlier at Tennessee Tech, there was not only was it very cold, it was very windy. It was very, very rainy, too. It was kind of a cold mist kind of falling at Tennessee Tech today. Hopefully we can avoid such weather conditions here this evening at Middle Tennessee State, and this game can be played with fine weather conditions here this evening.
Ravenwood won the toss a few moments ago. They're just now waiting for the guy in the red hat, or it looks like the guy's wearing a yellow hat tonight. Usually the guy who signals in the television timeouts has a red hat. This guy, I believe, has a yellow hat on.
It's yellowish or kind of green. It really looks kind of silly down there because, like you said, normally you see the man with the white uniform on who looks like a referee but has the red hat, will go out and stand on about the 20-yard line, and with 10 seconds to go, he'll start pointing at the referee to let him know that the game should start in about 10 seconds. Right now, though, believe he's stepping off the field, and this game is about to get underway, the 2005 TSSAA 5A State Championship game here from MTSU.
Ryan Kennedy has the ball in his hand, putting it down on the tee, and we're about to kick it off here. As Kevin said, here on AM 1290 WATO, the Wildcats haven't been here since 1991, and that game was played at Vanderbilt. It's the first time Oak Ridge has played for the state championship on this field since 1975 when the Wildcats took on the Maplewood team out of Nashville. Kennedy's got the ball down on the tee, and this one's about ready to kick off. The official blows the whistle, and here's the kickoff of the ball game. High, long kick by Kennedy, fielded at the 1, to the 5, up the field to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, to the 25, to the 30, to the 35, to the 40, to the 45-yard line, still on his way, actually to the 47-yard line where the stop is made by the Wildcats' Ravel Coffee, and that is where Ravenwood will take over. First down and 10 yards to go.
Nice way to start off for the Raptors right there. David, number 16, Michael Ayers, was on the return right there. He fielded it probably at about the 1-foot line. His back foot was at the 1-foot line. He did a nice job to break the seam, got it out to about midfield where this Ravenwood offense, very talented offense, will take over. First and 10.
They're moving left to right, wearing all black pants, white jerseys with red helmets and red numerals. T.C. Jennings is the quarterback. Dylan Marshall in the backfield. TC wants to pass on first down, floats it down the field, up for grabs, well overthrown, incomplete. The pass was intended for Adam Marshall, a 5'11", 170-pound senior. J.J. Wells defending, but that time the pass well overthrown.
The Wildcats like to play that deep kind of coverage right there, and they took a shot deep on the first play. They must like a matchup that they have on the left side of the field. Ravenwood will come out and take advantage of that all night long if the Wildcats are not careful. 2nd down and 10 yards to go for Ravenwood.
Let's set the starters for the Wildcats. Oak Ridge has on the ends John Baldwin and Jordan Murray. The tackles are Trent and Whaley. It'll be 2nd down, and initially there's some movement on the line of scrimmage. I'm not sure, but it looked like the Ravenwood, on the right side of the line, might have jumped off sides. The back was moving as well. Should be a 5-yard step off against the Raptors.
David, one thing that you will see from Ravenwood all night long is what's called a hard count. They'll go on not just one hut, but they'll go on 2 and 3, try to draw the defense off sides. Right there, it worked against them. They went on kind of a hard count, and their own player moved early, which will move them back 5 yards. 2nd down, 15 to go for the Raptors.
Crowd is just going nuts here, and what a great turnout of fans here from both sides as they come up. Now it'll be for them 2nd down, 15 yards to go. Ball's walked back to the 44-yard line. Once again, Jennings back to pass, rolling, scrambling, and he's hit and dropped. Hit first by Jordan Murray, finished off by Jake Vane. It's a short gain on the play, and the Raptors will have it 3rd down and long.
That's what the Wildcat defense has to do all night long, David. They have to keep contained on T.C. Jennings. He has a great arm. They have a good offensive line that protect him well, but a lot of the times he'll sneak his way outside of the pocket, scramble all the way down the field, and pick up some big gains with those nice feet he has.
Gain of a yard on the play. It'll bring up 3rd down, 14 yards to go. The ball at the 45-yard line. Jennings back to pass, has some pressure from the outside, delivers the pass complete out of the backfield to the 50 to the 40-yard line, pushed out of bounds by J.J. Wells, but he picks up a Ravenwood 1st down, pushed out of bounds officially at around the 36-yard line. It'll be 1st down, 10 yards to go for Ravenwood.
Nice play call right there by the Ravenwood staff. Oak Ridge sent a linebacker on the blitz, picked up some man coverage, had the man out of the backfield wide open on a crossing route, picked up a big gain for a 1st down for the first down of this state championship game.
Ball officially the nose of the ball right at the 35-yard line. Ravenwood and Oak Ridge just underway. First quarter action here at the state championship ball game from Middle Tennessee State University. Thanks for tuning us in. Shotgun formation, and that's something that they like to do. Handoff goes to Dylan Marshall. He moves the ball for good yardage once again. Huge hole opened up on the right side of the line as Dylan Williams, 5'11", 195-pound senior, picks up good yardage. It'll be 2nd down and short for Ravenwood.
David, the Wildcats also have in the game now number 45, Leonard Blair. He's a senior defensive lineman. Also at linebacker, Jake Vane, Daniel Johnson, as well as Paul Bingham, playing a cat-back position, as well as Danny Paris also in the secondary for the Wildcats.
Once again from the shotgun, receivers left and right for the Raptors. Jennings at quarterback. Man comes in motion. Jennings to pass. Now will scramble. Wants to run it. Tries to cut outside. Moves around the 25 to the 20 and pushed out of bounds at around the 15-yard line. TC that we talk about, and we talked about in the pregame show about his ability to throw the ball. And what might go unnoticed is his ability to scramble. He's got pretty good speed. He's elusive. He's a big guy. That time picks up a 1st down.
If he's kind of elusively, or excuse me, he's kind of foolishly big. I was looking at him on the field before the game, and he is all of 6'2", 180. He's a big kid. He's got a strong arm, and like you said, nice feet to pick up 10 yards on that last run.
Up to the line once again they'll come. Once again they'll come from the shotgun. Once again receivers left and right. Marshall gets the handoff, moves the ball to the 10-yard line. Is tackled by Leonard Blair at around the 9. Finished off, I believe, by Connor Gulmire. And that's another fine game for Ravenwood. So they have taken the opening kickoff. They got a great return, and they've moved the ball inside the Oak Ridge 10-yard line.
David, this is something that I'm sure that the staff from Ravenwood thought that their team had to have come out against a very tradition field team in Oak Ridge and have a nice opening drive to send a message here on this first drive of the ball game.
Ball is at the 9-yard line. Once again, the handoff goes to Marshall. Marshall to the 5, bounces off a tackle into the end zone. Touchdown, Ravenwood. They take a 6-0 lead here in the first quarter. So a very, very fine-looking drive for the Ravenwood Raptors as they march the ball down the field 50 yards and pick up a touchdown.
Nice job by the offensive line right there by Ravenwood. David, they're running a certain kind of zone technique on their running plays, and they did it to perfection on that first drive. Hopefully Oak Ridge will be able to make an adjustment, be able to knock that down here on the next drives here in the remaining part of the football game.
Here's the extra point. The ball is down. The kick is up and good. And Ravenwood leads Oak Ridge by a score of 7-0. We're on AM 1290 WATO, Oak Ridge Schools Television Channel 15, and on the internet, prepradio.com. We'll take a break. We'll send it back to the station. We'll be back with the Ravenwood kickoff following this 60-second timeout. David Clary back here along with Kevin McKeitham, along with Scott Munger, Aaron Vargas, our statistician, and our camera personnel from Oak Ridge Schools Television Channel 15. Ravenwood getting ready to kick off. It'll be Aaron Everson, 6 foot, 165-pound sophomore to kick off here. The Ravenwood Raptors on top of Oak Ridge in the first quarter, 7-0. And here's the kick. He makes his approach, and it's kind of a squib kick down the middle of the field, picked up by Jake Vane at around the 30, up the field to the 35 to the 40. Pretty good return. Obviously, they wanted to keep the ball away from Spencer Gulmire. Kicked it to the former fullback for the Wildcats, Jake Vane, and makes a nice return on it.
David, two good starting positions for both opening drives for both of the teams here earlier. Ravenwood got a good return on the opening kickoff. Oak Ridge gets a nice field position off of the squib kick right there from Ravenwood. Oak Ridge will take over 1st and 10. Connor Gulmire comes out as the starting quarterback for the Wildcats.
Center will be Tyler Trent. The guards are Alex Stewart and Eli Manning. The tackles are Tyler Lane and Josh Whaley. The Wildcats have receivers split to the left. The fullback is Daniel Johnson. The tailback for the Wildcats is Spencer Gulmire. Here's the reverse play off to Revell Coffey. He wants to throw back. The intended receiver is the quarterback, Connor Gulmire, makes the catch at the 40, up the field to the 35, and pushed out of bounds around the 20-yard line. Little trickery to start the ball game. A reverse to Revell Coffey, and then a throwback to the quarterback, Connor Gulmire.
David Stanton-Stevens continues to go to his bag of tricks on the opening play of the ball game. Right there, it works once again for about a 30-yard gain. Connor tossed it to Spencer, came around the end. He was uncovered by one of the linebackers from Ravenwood. He was wide open along the left sideline. Big game for the Wildcats to start off this opening drive.
J.J. Wells and Darrell Miller check into the ball game as receivers. They'll split out to the right side. Oak Ridge comes up from the eye. First down, 10 yards to go, deep in Ravenwood territory as we play in the first quarter. Oak Ridge trailing 7-0. Here's the pitch to Spencer Gulmire. Picks up a big gain on first down. Moves the ball deep into Ravenwood territory. Good start for the Wildcats. So both teams able to move the ball crisply on their first drives.
That's exactly what we expected, David. Ravenwood comes out in their spread offense, and they very effectively move the ball down the field. Oak Ridge comes out in their I formation. They give it to their main man, Spencer Gulmire, on their second play from scrimmage, and they move the ball right down the field inside the 20-yard line, inside the 15-yard line of Ravenwood, and awfully close to a first down.
Changer actually being brought onto the field to see if indeed Oak Ridge has a first down. Yes, it is. First down, 10 yards to go for the Wildcats. The ball resting at around the 13-yard line. The Wildcats trailing 7-0. This is the state championship ball game from Middle Tennessee State University. The Wildcats playing Ravenwood for the first time in school history. Ball officially at the 12-yard line. First quarter action. Oak Ridge comes up once again. Connor Gulmire brings them up. I formation once again. Once again, the five-man front for the Raptors. Here's the pitch to Gulmire across the 10-yard line. Cuts outside 5 into the end zone. Touchdown, Oak Ridge. The Wildcats score with Spencer Gulmire. So just like that, the Wildcats are within one extra point of tying this ball game.
David, Oak Ridge sent in a couple of plays right there. Connor Gulmire looked to the sideline. The coaches gave him the decision, and apparently it was the right one. Spencer Gulmire, tosser on the left end, touchdown, 3 plays, 6 points for the Wildcats. Hopefully Ryan Kennedy can tie it up here with the extra point.
The holder is Jason Lewis. The long snapper is Casey Reed. 7-6 our score. Ryan Kennedy to attempt the extra point. The ball is down. The kick is on its way. It's up, and it is good. So with time on the field, our score, first quarter action. The Wildcats have tied Ravenwood 7-7, and we'll be back with a Wildcat kickoff following this 60-second timeout. Back here on AM 1290 WATO, Oak Ridge Schools Television Channel 15, and on the internet, prepradio.com. 7-7 our score. The Wildcats and Ravenwood Raptors, 5A state championship ball game. Earlier tonight, the Maryville Rebels won another state championship.
I guess that's their second consecutive state championship, and I believe, David, correct me if I'm wrong here, 5 in 6 years and maybe 6 in 8 for George Quarles in Maryville High School.
That's just totally ridiculous right there. Congratulations, though, to the Maryville Rebels. Ryan Kennedy getting ready to kick off once again. As we play here at Middle Tennessee State, there was a threat of rain in the forecast, but so far, no rain at all right now. I mean, it's just been a beautiful night here as the Wildcats are waiting once again for the guy in the yellow hat. Very impressive drive. The Wildcats, of course, the big play in the game was the throw from Ravel Coffey to Connor Gulmire.
Yes, it was, David. That's something that Coach Stevens has shown a tendency for, to come out and start the game that way. He likes to throw a double pass or a reverse, or in this case, a reverse pass back to the quarterback. It's a very, very deceiving play because most of the times your defenses do not account for the quarterback in coverage because most of the time the quarterback does not run out on a pass route. So it's a nice job by Coach Stevens and the offensive staff, and as well as Spencer and Ravel and Connor. Nice job to execute that play and get a big gain to start off that drive for the Wildcats.
Are you saying when you were quarterback of the Wildcats, they didn't send you out in a pass route ever?
They really didn't, David. That's something that can be done no matter who your quarterback is, but especially when you have one as athletic as Connor.
No, I don't think they really wanted to send you out there. As once again, the guy in the yellow hat has given the signal, and Ryan Kennedy's getting ready to kick off once again. 7-7 our score. First quarter action here at the state championship ball game, the Blue Cross Bowl, as Kennedy has the ball down, and we're getting ready to kick off once again. 7-7 our score. But some of the fans have barely gotten a chance to sit down. Here's the kick once again by Kennedy. Long, wobbly kick. It's going to be fielded at the 1. Up the field to the 5. Makes a move at the 10. He's belted down. Hit first perhaps by Casey Reed. I'm not sure. Finished off for sure by Andrew Kirkpatrick. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go for Ravenwood. This time moving left to right here. Their second drive. They were able to score on their opening drive. The Wildcats just a moment ago countered. And let's see what they do on their second drive.
Nice opportunity here for the Wildcats, David, to kind of hold Ravenwood down inside their territory. A lot of times in these big games, field position plays such a large role in determining who will win the game. Hopefully the Oak Ridge defense can establish that field position right here on this drive.
Alex Stewart and Leonard Blair have now replaced Trent and Whaley at the tackle position. First down, 10 yards to go for T.C. Jennings. Hand off to Dylan Marshall. Moves the ball forward for a gain of about 2. Hit by Daniel Johnson and one other Wildcat. It might have been Alex Stewart to hit him first. Couldn't quite tell. Daniel was there to make the contact. Leonard Blair just in case. Be a short gain on the play for Ravenwood. Second down and about 7 yards to go.
David Williams is deceivingly quick. He likes to stick his foot in the ground and make a cutback, which is something that he has done successfully so far here on the first couple of drives. He tried to do it right there. Oak Ridge wouldn't let him.
Once again from the shotgun. Second down. T.C. Jennings running the ball forward. Moves the ball to around the 22-yard line. It's a gain on the play for the quarterback. And when you saw him play last week against Cookville, did he run as much as he looks like he wants to run here in the first part of this ball game?
Well, he played against Ridgeway last week, David, and I think that, T.C. Jennings is the kind of guy, he likes to throw the ball. He likes to run the ball as well. He really is kind of the centerpiece of this offense, but you have to watch out for Williams as well. You can't concentrate on just one.
Third down here. Handoff goes to Dylan Marshall. He moves the ball forward for first down yardage across the 30 to the 35 to the 40. Ravel Coffey grabs him and slings him down at around the 48-yard line. Once again, Dylan Williams on the carry. Dylan has had a great start to this ball game. He's their senior running back, and he has had an outstanding year, around 1,800 yards rushing for the senior, and I met him on Monday. Not a very big guy, not physically imposing, but he's got some speed, a little strength, a little bit more power than I thought he might have.
David, one thing that you don't account for most of the time is the kind of scheme that Ravenwood is running right here. They're doing a nice job executing the zone blocking so far in this first quarter.
from the 47-yard line. Jennings to run the ball once again across midfield. Moves the ball into Wildcat territory, moving the ball to the 46-yard line where he is dropped down by the Wildcats. I think it might have been Paul Bingham who makes a stop for the Wildcats. Oak Ridge has Eli Manning on the line now. Jake Vanes in there. Here comes Josh Whaley back into the ball game. The Wildcats and Ravenwood Raptors state championship ball game tied at 7 as we play here at Middle Tennessee State University. David Clary along with Kevin McKeith and Scott Munger will be joining us here. Our statistician is Aaron Vargas as the Raptors come up once again. T.C. Jennings back to pass, looks long, now will run it, tries to get back to the line of scrimmage, now will heave it down the field. The ball is up for grabs. It's going to be picked off by Oak Ridge's Ravel Coffey. Picks it off at around the 12-yard line. Ravel just kind of playing a little center field back there. Not a wise decision by Jennings. Had no place to run, just kind of heaved it into coverage. Nice play by Coffey, and the Wildcats take over 1st and 10.
David, that's one thing that T.C. Jennings will do. He will run around and try to make a play right there. He was trying to make a big play to his wide receiver. Unfortunately, he threw it into triple coverage where there were multiple Wildcats, including one of the best Wildcat defenders in the secondary of all time, really. Ravel Coffey was there to make a play, make an interception, hopefully make a big play to jumpstart this Oak Ridge attack here in the first quarter.
Tyler Trent, the first man to the line. He is the center for the Wildcats. First down, 10 yards to go. The pitch will go to Spencer Gulmire. He tries to move the ball forward, and he's dropped behind the line of scrimmage. The stop is made by number 32 for them. That'll be Daniel Becker, and what a great linebacker he is. 6'3", 215-pound senior. I also got a chance to meet him on Monday. Seemed like just a really, really nice guy, but obviously a ferocious tackler. Somebody told me, I'm not sure if this is the case, and I meant to ask him, that he's going to play football at Vanderbilt next year, and just a very good-looking player.
David, that is what I learned last week in talking to some of the people from Ravenwood. They said that he really is the best player on that defense, and he makes them go. I think he is a Vanderbilt signee as well.
Connor Gulmire hands it off once again to Spencer, tries to get outside, turns the corner, tripped up at the last moment at around the 14-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down and long facing the Wildcats. This time the stop is made by by Andrew Nejva, 6'2" player. How would you pronounce that? I mean, it's N-A-S-H-V. How would you pronounce that? Nejva?
I think that's exactly how you would say it, David. Najva.
Maybe at halftime I'll wander down and talk to the Ravenwood people to get an idea of exactly how to pronounce his name as the Wildcats have it. 3rd down, short now. Connor Gulmire from the eye, back to pass, wants to fire it down the field to Ravel Coffey, incomplete, just out of his reach. Little pressure that time on Connor Gulmire. I think if he waits just a half second, Ravel had come free, pass is incomplete.
The Wildcats had 2 receivers split out to the right side that time, and Ravenwood decided to blitz around that side where Oak Ridge didn't have quite as many blockers. They got around to the side and got a little bit of pressure to rush Connor's throw just a hair, and that caused him to throw it a little bit too far down the field, just out of the reach of Ravel Coffey. 4th down for the Wildcats.
And senior Ryan Kennedy will come into the game to punt the ball away for the first time tonight. Both teams have been able to score on their first drives. The first punt of the night, high kick. Of course, the interception by Ravel Coffey. It's fielded at around the 45-yard line. Up the field once again looks like Dylan Marshall. He's corralled down by Oak Ridge. Paul Bingham and one other player made the initial hit, then a near late hit that time by one of the Wildcats as the Wildcats stop him. That's Andrew Kirkpatrick once again. It'll be 1st down, 10 yards to go for Ravenwood.
David Williams is obviously the guy. Dylan Williams is the guy that they want to have the ball in their hands if it's not T.C. Jennings. Jennings is the quarterback. Williams is the running back. He's also the guy who caught the punt right there. He did a nice job of making a little move and get the ball to midfield for a nice starting position for this Ravenwood offense.
Shotgun formation once again. The ball is at the 49-yard line. Here's the little pitch to the back, and he's hit and dropped hard by Jake Vane after a gain of a few yards, maybe 4 or 5. I didn't think he was going to get a lot of yardage at all, but a nice little option, almost kind of like a Utah pass.
David, that's a nice play right there. That's a nice job by the Oak Ridge defense to be prepared for that. Ravenwood did that a lot last week against Ridgeway. All the quarterback simply does is run and attack the defensive end and reads him. If the defensive end takes the quarterback. He pitches underneath to the running back. Oak Ridge fielded very nicely to stop that play for about a 4-yard gain.
Jake Vane out of the ball game. Troy Venable in his place now. It'll be for Ravenwood. 2nd down and 5 yards to go. The ball at the 45-yard line. Once again, Dylan Williams trying to carry the ball. Once again, hit pretty well. It's like Tyler Trent, Jordan Murray there for the stop for the Wildcats. So it's going to be 3rd down and about 4 yards to go.
Jordan Murray did a nice job right there, David, of holding the end. He plays the defensive end position, and the offensive tackle tried to kick him out right there. Nice job of Jordan to hold his ground and then to kind of shimmy the player off of him to get in and get a foot of Dylan Williams to hold him for a gain of only a yard. Brings up 3rd down for the Raptors.
7-7 our score as we play here late in the first quarter. T.C. Jennings brings them up once again. 3rd down and about 5. He's back to pass. Now will run the ball up the field. Cuts to the outside across the 40 to the 35. 1st down yardage and more across the 30. Tackled finally by Troy Venable at around the 29-yard line. It'll be 1st down, 10 yards to go for Ravenwood as they move the ball deeper into Oak Ridge territory. Nice run. Nice decision once again by their quarterback.
Nice job by T.C. Jennings. As you said, David, whenever your quarterback can run like that, when he has the ability to throw and he looks to throw, kind of the X factor in kind of an offense when you have a spread offense is the fact that the quarterback can run, and T.C. Jennings can definitely run. He showcased those abilities right there as he picked up a big 1st down for his Ravenwood offense.
1st down, 10 yards to go. Once again, Jennings from the shotgun, and once again the handoff goes. Good yardage again, up the middle, and he cuts to the outside. Once again, that's Williams at the 10, tackled finally by Ravel Coffey at around the 7-yard line. It's going to be 1st down, goal to go for Ravenwood in a 7-7 ball game as we play in the first quarter. He just does not look like he has great speed. He doesn't look that strong. Just does a really good job picking and choosing his holes, and once again, it's another fine run.
Nice job again by the offensive line, by the Raptors, David. They did a nice job of get the zone play to the left, and Dylan Williams once again sticks his foot in the ground and this time cuts it back all the way across the field for a huge gain. 1st and goal for Ravenwood.
Ball's at the 7-yard line once again from the shotgun. T.C. Jennings, the listing is 6'2", 180 pounds. He moves the ball to the 5-yard line, spins at the goal line, takes it across for another touchdown for Ravenwood, and they lead it by a score of 13-7 here in the first quarter.
Nice run right there by T.C. Jennings, David. What they did the same play really for Jennings, where they faked it to Williams, and then Jennings kept the ball, ran the ball to the left, cut it up, made a nice little move, took it across the line. He's a big guy, tough for the Wildcats to bring down, tough for them to deny him of the goal line right there. Oak Ridge now trails the Raptors 13-7.
Once again, they'll attempt the extra point. 13-7, as Kevin mentioned. Here's the kick. Flags are down on the play. Looked like maybe Ravenwood was offsides. We'll have to check, though. Official comes over to discuss it. Let's see. No signal as of right now. Evidently, it's going to go against Oak Ridge. By the way, the Ravenwood players are reacting to it. It was illegal procedure against the Wildcats. See if they thought the kick was good. I guess it was before the play, so I guess that means Ravenwood will get another opportunity to kick it.
Brings up a very interesting point here, David. You're only ahead by 6 points, obviously very early in the state championship game, but with the ball being now only 1.5 yards away from the goal line, do you think about going for 2? I know T.C. Jennings is the holder right here for the Raptors. He's very quick, and also obviously he's the main player on their offense. Do you think about going for 2 right here? I don't know.
I don't know, this early in the ball game, it's a long discussion whether they want to take the yardage. Sometimes the kickers, if they do kick, they like to kick from the same place they always kick and not try to alter that. The penalty is against them, and I guess they'll take the yardage, but they're not going to move the ball up but half the distance to the goal, so just be just a little shorter extra point. And see, once again, Everson is in the ball game. Jennings is the holder. 13-7 the score. Here's the snap, the hold, the kick is on its way. It's up, and it is good. And Ravenwood leads Oak Ridge by a score of 14-7. We're in the first quarter of this state championship ball game. Take another break. We'll send it back to our engineer, Darren Creek. We'll be back to Middle Tennessee State University following this timeout. Back here at Middle Tennessee State University, here's another short kick fielded by, looks like John Baldwin at around the 40-yard line. And that is the case. John Baldwin getting an opportunity to return for the Wildcats. Another short kick, and it's obvious to me, Kevin, that they do not want Spencer Gulmire returning kicks.
Well, I don't blame him, David. Last week, Ridgeway had a couple of very nice returners as well, and Ravenwood did the same thing. They pooched the ball down the field. They would squib it down the field. They have a sophomore kicker. Don't want to say anything about the strength of his leg or anything, but they obviously feel a lot more comfortable kicking the ball short and keeping it out of the playmaker's hands for Oak Ridge.
Up to the line will come Oak Ridge. Connor Gulmire's the quarterback. The tight end is Jordan Murray. Lined up on the left side, the Wildcats have, let's see, somebody on the right as they stack the line of scrimmage, and here's the quarterback back to pass. Rolling, needs a block, trying to get around the end, is going to go down at around the 26-yard line. Just had no place to go. Good pursuit by Paul Kleckner of the Ravenwood Raptors, along with Daniel Becker and Jamie Wilkerson. It'll be a loss on the play. That time, Connor had no place to go.
David, you want to talk about sending the house? Ravenwood just took the anticipation right there from the Wildcats offense, and they sent the house around the left side. Connor had nowhere to throw the ball, and then when he tucked the ball and tried to run it, there were more guys coming around him around the left end. So there was a nice job, nice play call by Ravenwood. Now 2nd and long for the Wildcats.
Daryl Miller and J.J. Will split off to the right side. Connor wants to pass. Little screen pass is dropped. Pass was intended out of the backfield to Spencer Gulmire. Good defense once again by the Ravenwood Raptors. Once again, that's Daniel Becker down there. So it'll be 3rd down facing the Wildcats. 3rd down and long. Very, very late here in the first quarter as the Wildcats bring in Ravel Coffey and Alonzo Douglas as receivers. Here come the Wildcats to the line. The line remains the same. The Wildcats split them out left and right. 3rd down. The ball is in Oak Ridge territory as Connor brings them up once again from the eye. Daniel Johnson, the fullback, another little quick pass out here to Ravel Coffey. Makes the catch at around the 24, moves the ball across the 25, and is tackled at the 26 by Adam Marshall. 5'11", 170-pound senior. It'll be 4th down, and once again Oak Ridge is going to be forced to punt.
David, the Wildcats started to set up another screen right there, this time a wide receiver screen to Ravel Coffey. Ravel couldn't get underneath the blockers. He couldn't get upfield. Oak Ridge had some blockers in front, but the Ravenwood defense did a nice job to get through and to get to Ravel to keep him from getting the yardage that he needed.
Here's the punt by Ryan Kennedy. Low, wobbly kick's going to be fielded, and no, it's not. It's going to be bouncing and take a good Oak Ridge bounce. It'll be picked up now by the Raptors, and he's able to return it maybe a couple of yards. Once again, that is Jamie Wilkerson on the return. Took a nice Oak Ridge bounce. I was kind of surprised that he actually picked it up, but Danny Parrish is down there to trip him up. It'll be 1st and 10 Ravenwood.
Actually, probably a nice job by Wilkerson right there, David. Probably saved a couple of yards, especially on the Astro turf. The ball will probably roll an extra 2 or 3 yards, so if he lets that ball go, they might get the ball down close to the 10-yard line, but he gets the ball outside of the 20, 1st and 10 for Ravenwood as they lead Oak Ridge 14-7 here in the state championship game.
Once again, Trenton Whaley back in on the line along with Baldwin and Murray. T.C. Jennings at quarterback. 1st down, 10 yards to go. Once again, Dylan Williams on the carry, moves the ball forward, tripped up by Tyler Trent. After a gain of a couple of yards, it'll bring up 2nd down and about 8 for the Ravenwood Raptors in the state championship ball game here on AM 1290 WATO and Oak Ridge Schools Television Channel 15. The Wildcats and Ravenwood Raptors, the two teams have never played. Ravenwood leads Oak Ridge by a score of 14-7. Scott Munger will be joining us here in a bit on our broadcast. T.C. Jennings hands it off once again, and once again Trent makes the stop, just grabbed him around the ankles. Actually, it was Murray, Jordan Murray, number 88 instead of 78, who makes the stop. So it'll be 3rd down facing Ravenwood.
David, their offensive line is getting a nice push right now on Oak Ridge's defense. It looks like their running backs are not getting a whole lot of yardage, but each and every single time they're making the dive and making extra effort forward, and they're getting 2 or 3 yards every time. It brings up, I think, about a 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 4 situation here for the Ravenwood Raptors.
Once again from the shotgun, TC brings him up once again, and the Wildcats jump off sides. It was 3rd down and short, and the Wildcats are going to give up the 1st down on the penalty. So a tough play that time by the right side of the Oak Ridge line. Somebody jumped off sides. That's going to cost Oak Ridge 5 and give them a 1st down.
David, there's those hard counts that we were talking about earlier. Ravenwood comes out, and they're a very well-coached team. They do a lot of the little things right. As you look at them, like you talk about the running back Dylan Williams, he doesn't look that imposing physically, but he is very, very effective, and they are very well coached, and they do things very well, especially on the offensive line. They executed a hard count right there, and they got Oak Ridge to jump off sides for now an automatic first down.
Moving from left to right, first down 10 from the 34. T.C. Jennings back to pass. Now we'll run it. Cuts out to the right side. Here come the Wildcats in pursuit. Troy Venable trips him up, and then he's driven out of bounds by the Wildcats. Oak Ridge gave him a little bit of pressure. Whaley came in. He cut to the outside. Then Troy just barely got his hands on him, tripped him up. He was going out of bounds anyway. It'll be a short gain for the Raptors. It'll be second down. We'll call it 7 yards to go.
Nice job right there by the Wildcat defense to really kind of contain T.C. Jennings. The ball's lined up on the right hash, and they forced him to run to the short side of the field, which is very important when you have a guy as fast as Jennings is. As you said, David, second and about 6 for Ravenwood.
Ball's at the 37-yard line. They're moving left to right here in the first quarter. Jennings under center. Man comes in motion. Handoff goes to Williams. He moves the ball for good yardage, moving the ball close to a first down at around the 45-yard line, and I believe he's got enough for the first down.
I think he does, David. He did a nice job right there with kind of a hesitation spin move. He did a really nice job of getting the ball through the hole. He got it up in there, and the offensive line, again, with a nice push for the Raptors. Another first down for Ravenwood, 1st and 10 here, I believe, as the first quarter will come to a close.
And that is the end of the first quarter. I'm sorry I got cold. I had to close the window. That's the end of the first quarter. Our score after 1 quarter of play here at Middle Tennessee State University, the Wildcats trailing Ravenwood by a score of 14-7. And we'll be back with the second quarter right after this. The Wildcats of Oak Ridge trailing Ravenwood in the state championship ball game. Really, when the game started, Kevin, I thought it might be a really high-scoring quarter. Both teams were able to score quickly. In fact, Oak Ridge on its first drive, Ravenwood scored its 2 touchdowns on its first 3 drives. But since that time, the defenses have kind of taken over.
But nice adjustments for both defenses, as you just said, David. The Wildcats really have only had 3 successful plays on their first drive, and they moved the ball right down the field, scored a touchdown. Besides that, they really haven't been able to do anything in their last 2 possessions, 3 and out both times, I do believe. And Ravenwood has moved the ball a little bit. But the Oak Ridge defense has done a better job containing the running of Dylan Williams as well as the running and throwing of T.C. Jennings.
Have I been saying Williams or Marshall during the course of the first quarter?
I think you've been saying Marshall and Williams' son, but his name is actually Dylan Williams.
Yeah, their top receiver is Adam Marshall. I met both of those guys on Monday at the media day, and what a great day that was, getting a chance to see members of all the teams playing in the state championship games, and got a chance to be at the Mr. Football Banquet, which, once again, an Oak Ridge player got ripped, in my humble opinion. The kid at Riverdale is a good player, but Spencer Gulmire, in my opinion, is still the top back in the state. But as long as it's Middle Tennessee bias, we're never going to get that award, I don't think.
Well, David, I would totally personally agree with you right there, but also I think that probably T.C. Jennings has a very good chase as well. He was a Mr. Football finalist. He was the 3rd finalist who was there with Spencer Gulmire and with Gaston Miller. T.C. Jennings, the quarterback for Ravenwood tonight, and so far he's definitely showcased the fact that he is definitely a Mr. Football candidate here in the first quarter of this state championship game.
Opening play of the second quarter after a very long television timeout. Jennings brings him up from the 45-yard line, moving right to left once again, 4-man front for the Wildcats. Jennings rolls to his left. Now another Utah pass, and nicely defended once again by Oak Ridge. Jordan Murray once again there on the stop, along with Spencer Gulmire, Troy Venable. No gain on the play, at most a yard or so.
David, the Wildcats have done a very nice job preparing for that nice little shovel pass that Ravenwood likes to do. Spencer Gulmire's lined up, I believe, at an inside linebacker position, filled the hole nicely, stuck him in the hole. Second down for Ravenwood.
Once again from the shotgun, 14-7 our score. Ravenwood on top. Handoff goes to Williams once again, and once again Williams is met. Was able to squirt free. I think he was hit by Spencer Gulmire, and one other guy hit him first. One of the linemen, John Baldwin, as well for the Wildcats. It'll be a short gain on the play. It'll bring up 3rd down for the Ravenwood Raptors. And what exactly is there? Most people think a raptor is a dinosaur, but they've got a bird. I guess it's some kind of an eagle or something.
I guess it is. I think it's a pretty mean bird too, right, David?
Well, obviously, a bird of prey, I believe. As Jennings is back to pass, feels some pressure, pass is caught out of the backfield, but the Wildcats are there to defend it. It'll be 4th down facing the Ravenwood Raptors. A short gain on the play, maybe a yard or two. A nice-looking play, but really nicely defended by Murray along with Paul Bingham, and then one other Wildcat came in late, Troy Venable. It'll be 4th down and about 8 yards to go, and they'll be forced to punt.
Well, David, number one, that was a heck of a catch by Dylan Williams. It was not a very well thrown ball. It was kind of outside. He did a nice job stick one paw up there and bring it in. And then, like you said, a nice job defending the play by Jordan Murray. Jordan Murray plays defensive end, and he just knew what that play was going to be, so he did it on his own, took on the responsibility of sliding out there and defending the running back out of the backfield in the pass pattern.
They're in punt formation here. Jennings back, standing a short drop, and he's going to punt the ball away. A high spiraling kick's going to take a bounce, take a great bounce. It's going to roll inside the 10, rolling all the way down to the 5, and it's still rolling. At the 4, the wind is blowing very hard, but I've never seen a ball roll like this. It is at the 3-yard line, still rolling to the 2-yard line, all the way down to the 1-yard line, and that is where Oak Ridge is going to take over. So he took a short drop anyway to punt the ball and then just got an incredible roll. The Wildcats have their backs to their own end zone once again.
David, does he always kick left-footed? Because he kicked that one left-footed right there, but no matter what foot you kicked it with, the ball wound up at the foot line for the Wildcats. The ball actually started to roll at the 6-yard line, and the wind itself pushed the ball inside the 1-yard line. Nice job by the punter, nice job by Ravenwood, nice job by the wind. Oak Ridge 1st and 10 inside their own 1.
Wildcats have 99 yards to drive here. They trail 14-7 early in the second quarter. Connor Gulmire, quarterback, under center Tyler Trent, will sneak the ball forward, maybe for a yard. It'll bring up 2nd down, 9 yards to go for the Wildcats. The ball at around their own 2-yard line. The Wildcat line remains the same. Lane and Whaley, Alex Stewart in the ball game along with Eli Manning. Tyler Trent is the center. J.J. Wells comes in now as a receiver, and he'll drift off to the far right. The Wildcats come up. Tight end John Baldwin on the right side. Jordan Murray, double tight end on the left side. I formation. Here's the handoff to Spencer Gulmire. Outside he goes to the 5, dives forward and picks up, I believe, a 1st down. Second effort there by Spencer Gulmire. He got tripped up, but he stretched out the ball just enough, I believe, for an Oak Ridge 1st down.
David, he kind of hurdled one guy right there. He kind of rolled up under him, and Spencer's not very tall, but he did a nice job to jump over the man who was in the flats out there to the left, and then I believe it was Daniel Becker who did a nice job to run him down from his middle linebacker position. Spencer picks up some nice yardage right there. I believe a 1st down for the Wildcats.
1st down indeed for the Wildcats. 1st down, 10 yards to go. Ball is at the 11-yard line. Ravel Coffey splitting out to the far right. Daniel Johnson, the fullback. Spencer Gulmire, the tailback. Connor under center, 1st and 10. Early in the second quarter, Connor wants to pass. Pass out to Ravel Coffey. Nice catch at the 15-yard line. Moves the ball forward to the 20. Nice catch once again. A pass was slightly high. Ravel made a nice athletic play, made one man miss, and is able to pick up good yardage.
David, that's a play that the Wildcats, I know, want to take advantage of all night. They like the matchup of Ravel on their cornerbacks. Hopefully they can continue to do that and hopefully get Ravel more involved in the offense right here.
Ball is sitting at the 20-yard line. This drive started at the 1-foot line. Wildcats come up once again from the I. Handoff goes Spencer Gulmire. Moves the ball forward to around the 22. Not much more than that. Stop is made, I believe, by number 10. That'll be Adam Presley, 6-foot, 210-pounder. It'll be the Wildcats picking up some yardage there. Thought Spencer, as that hole opened up, I thought he was going to get a lot more yardage. But one thing that impresses me with this Ravenwood team, they don't look physically imposing, but they really fly to the ball quickly.
They run to the ball very well, David. Right there, as you said, the hole was there for Spencer, but all of a sudden you had somebody closing on the hole from both sides, from the middle and from the outside, which disallowed Spencer from getting all the way up the field.
Once again, the handoff goes to Spencer Gulmire. He's got pretty good running room, moves the ball up the middle for a gain of about 6 or 7 yards. One of the few times the Wildcats have had some pretty good yardage right up the middle.
Yeah, it was, David. The Wildcats just ran the nice little isolation play over on the left side of the center, and they got a nice hole, a nice lead blocked by Daniel Johnson to get it up in there and hit the linebacker. Spencer got some good yardage. 3rd and short here for the Wildcats. A big opportunity for Oak Ridge's offense.
Crowd is going nuts here behind us, trying to get the Wildcat offense going, and play is halted momentarily, and a timeout is asked for by Ravenwood. Why don't we take one ourselves as Coach Stevens strolls out to the center of the field. The Wildcats trailing Ravenwood by a score of 14-7. We'll be back to Middle Tennessee State following this 60-second timeout. You know, we've had such great weather, but as I look at the lights, looks like a mist beginning to fall here.
It's kind of falling at an angle, too, so we know that the wind is coming out. I believe the wind's going from right to left here, so hopefully that won't affect the passing too much of Connor Gulmire and the ball security.
Handoff goes to Leonard Blair. Oh, he is stood up, and you don't see that happen very much. They inserted Leonard Blair in at fullback there. Usually when Leonard hits somebody, that guy goes down, but somebody just stood Leonard up. He did pick up enough yardage for the first down, but very seldom do you see Leonard stood up like that.
David, Daniel Becker is one heck of a football player. He's the middle linebacker. He's the Vanderbilt signee. He's the kind of guy, the only kind of guy that can stand up Leonard Blair. He's also denied Spencer Gulmire a couple of times of those extra couple of yards that Spencer always gets. He's number 32. I believe he is listed here at, he's like 6'3", and he's playing 6'3", about 230. So he's the kind of kid. He also runs very well. He's run from his middle linebacker position to the outside to keep Spencer from breaking off those long runs. He's the kind of guy who can stand up Leonard Blair. He just did, but Oak Ridge does get a first down.
Oak Ridge band trying to fire up the Wildcats. It was indeed a first down on the field for the Wildcats, and Wildcats trail 14-7. Alonzo Douglas into the ball game now for Oak Ridge. 14-7 our score, state championship game. Aaron Vargas, our statistician. Darren Creeks back in the studios of WATO. We have Taylor Lane, Brian Salmonson, Josh Murray, and Michael Davis as our camera personnel. The Wildcats come up once again. First down, 10 yards to go. Leonard Blair out of the ball game. Daniel Johnson back in. Here's a pass complete to Alonzo Douglas across the 40 up to around the 43-yard line. Not a pretty pass, a little wobbly pass, but Alonzo makes the catch. He is stopped by number 5 once again for them. This is Michael Becker along with Daniel Becker. So there's 2 Beckers on the team, and I don't know, that doesn't bode well for future opponents of Ravenwood if the young man, Becker, is as good as his brother.
David, I believe that Michael is listed at 5'11", 165. He's not quite there yet, but that was surely a nice play made by the younger Becker on the outside. Also, nice pressure on Connor Gulmire, the quarterback for the Wildcats. Ravenwood defense has been blitzing very heavily all night, and they again got to Connor, which affected his pass and timing a little bit right there.
The wind is blowing so hard, the ball just rolled away, and they had to reset it. Ball's at the 44-yard line. I formation once again. Double tight end set once again. Connor Gulmire rolling, fires a pass out here. Pass caught by Ravel Coffey at the 50, to the 45, to the 40. Spins his way down the field. Oh, they say he went out of bounds. I'm not so sure about that, Kevin. It looked like he stayed in bounds, but I guess the official was right on the spot. Either way, it's a nice catch by Ravel Coffey. A dangerous pass because it looked like it could have been picked off. It is a first down, though, for the Wildcats.
Very dangerous pass right there. Once again, Michael Becker, the younger brother, I would assume, of Daniel Becker, the middle linebacker, almost picked that ball off. Just a simple hitch route for the Wildcats out there with Ravel Coffey, and the ball was a little bit late getting there. Ravel did a nice job using his body to shield off the defender and almost made one of the most spectacular moves I've ever seen to spin around the sideline. He just stepped out of bounds. Big play for the Wildcats, though.
No argument from the Oak Ridge sideline, so evidently he did go out of bounds. 1st and 10. The Wildcats looks like they have something going. Handoff goes to Spencer Gulmire, who brings the ball to the Ravenwood 35-yard line. So it looks like the Wildcats starting to move the ball here.
Nice job right there by Spencer Gulmire and the offensive line of the Wildcats. They just had a nice isolation lead play over to the right side of the line, and that right side of the line, I believe, is Tyler Lane, as well as Alex Stewart. A nice job to get a good push. Daniel Becker again on the tackle for the Ravenwood Raptors. Oak Ridge picks up about 4 or 5 yards, second down for the Oak Ridge offense here in the second quarter.
14-7 our score. Ravenwood on top. State championship ball game here from Middle Tennessee State University. Connor Gulmire to pass, has some time. Now it's breaking down. Lots of pressure and sacked. Back of the 44-yard line. Coming in strong was Adam Presley from the backside. He also got some help from Travis Hansel and one other Raptor. It's a big, big loss on the play. Spencer laid out one guy on a block, but then there was just too many people coming, and Connor loses big yardage.
I was just about to say that, David, that the initial wave of blitzers from Ravenwood was picked up nice by Spencer Gulmire. He just nailed one of the kids as he came through the line. Spencer knocks him down, but the route had just busted up for the Wildcats down the field, and Connor had to try to make a play, and he couldn't do it because there wasn't enough time and too many Raptors swarming him in the backfield for a big loss.
Timeout was asked for by the Wildcats as Coach Stevens is out to talk with his offensive unit. The Raptors scored on their opening drive and took the lead 7-0. The Wildcats, I think it was on like 6 plays, I believe, and then the Wildcats got the ball, and 3 plays later they were in the end zone, tied the ball game at 7. The second series by Ravenwood ended in an interception by Ravel Coffey, but their third series they were able to take it in, and that's the only scoring we've had, and all of that took place in the first quarter.
You know, David, like you said earlier, I would have thought that after those first 2 or 3 series from both teams that this was going to be about 21-21 at the half, and then who knows what's going to happen in the second half. But right now, no other scoring has taken place, as you just said, and you know the offenses are having a little bit of trouble adjusting to how the defenses are adjusting. I know that Rob Spees is the defensive coordinator for the Wildcats. He's done a nice job. One of the big things that they have done is they put Spencer Gulmire in on defense. He's done a nice job to make some big plays being in there, and this being Spencer's last game, he's obviously Oak Ridge's horse. Nice to see him on the field on both sides of the ball.
The Wildcats have it. Third down now. Quarterback Connor Gulmire once again back to pass. Has time, floats it down the field. Pass is overthrown and incomplete. I think the pass was intended for Alonzo Douglas. Pretty good coverage there by the Ravenwood Raptors. Alonzo has had the knack this season of going up and grabbing passes like that, but that one was not catchable, and it's incomplete.
It was a tough ball right there for both Connor and for Alonzo right there. The coverage was very, very swarming right there by the Raptor defense. It kind of like triple coverage right there. The Wildcats decided to take a shot, kind of like Ravenwood did in the first half. If it's intercepted, it's the same as a punt. It didn't work out, though. Oak Ridge will now be forced to punt on 4th down.
They had the ball all the way to the 35-yard line of Ravenwood, but the big sack, the big killer play, Ryan Kennedy to punt high, nice, long driving kick, and a fair catch made by Williams at the 13-yard line. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go for Ravenwood. Coach Spees and his defense, after the initial couple of drives, have really made the adjustment to kind of slow down this Ravenwood team, and the same could be said for Ravenwood too. The Wildcats have had nothing going since that opening drive.
No, they haven't, David, and once again, field position has been a big factor in that. Oak Ridge has been buried inside their own field position. Hopefully they can hold Ravenwood inside their own 50-yard line right here.
Quarterback T.C. Jennings moving the ball up the field. Another nice run for him. He's hit by Ravel Coffey and J.J. Wells, and looks like Kevin Summers in the ball game as well, but not before he picks up a first down. Initially, I thought he might get a yard or two, then just kind of made a little move and got outside and picked up good yardage.
David, you can tell how big and strong T.C. Jennings is because it takes 3 or 4 Wildcats to bring him down every time he runs the ball. He's really what I would kind of call a physical specimen. He runs the ball well. He throws the ball well. He really does make them go on offense.
Here they come to the line once again. Leonard Blair and Kevin Summers are the tackles. Baldwin and Murray are the ends. Handoff goes to Williams, looking for a hole, coming to the outside, now cutting inside. Once again, breaks a couple tackles and breaks across the 35 up to the 40, where he's finally tracked down by the Wildcats. Stop is made by Connor Gulmire. Once again, looked like the Wildcats had him, and there's just something about this offense. He looks, finds a hole, then cuts in it and picks up good yardage.
It's a nice job right there. He's got a key read that Williams focuses on each and every single time. He looked right there to stretch the ball out to the right. He found his gap, stuck his foot in the ground, got up the field, and got about a 10 or 15-yard gain.
First down, 10 yards to go. Once again, Jennings will run it again. Moves the ball forward, makes a nice little move, brings the ball to around midfield and across. The ball's moved up the field. Another fine run by T.C. Jennings. Wildcat defense better settle down here because Ravenwood's starting to move the ball once again.
Once again, David, the offensive line from Ravenwood has done a fantastic job getting the job done as the Oak Ridge defense appears to look a little bit tired right now. Troy Venable in the game for the Wildcats. Spencer Gulmire also playing linebacker at the catback position. We have Danny Paris and Paul Bingham. The tackles for the Wildcats are Trenton Whaley. The ends are Baldwin and Murray.
Here's the handoff once again to Williams, and he breaks another tackle. Moves the ball down the field, spinning across the 35, all the way down to the Oak Ridge 34-yard line. The Wildcats hit him 2 or 3 times. He's evidently a little stronger than he looks from up here because he kept breaking tackle after tackle, kept spinning, had great balance, and picks up another Ravenwood first down.
David, that's also a very nice play call from the Ravenwood coaching staff right there. Oak Ridge looks to be wanting to stop that outside stretch or zone kind of play, and then right there they come back with a quick hitter up the middle. It's tough for the Wildcats to adjust to that.
First down, 10 yards to go. The ball's at the Oak Ridge 34. Handoff goes once. Williams, this time no place to go. He's going to be brought down, and a flag goes down on the play. The first man to hit him, I think, was John Baldwin. Spencer Gulmire, Trent, Venable, Murray, all around the play as well. But I believe this one's going to come back. I think the penalty and is going to be holding against the Ravenwood Raptors, and that's going to cost them. It was not a great play for them anyway, as they'll be backing up. 14-7 our score. We're in the second quarter of this state championship ball game. Wherever you might be listening to us or watching us on WATO or on the internet, prepradio.com, we hope everybody's enjoyed what has been just a fantastic season of Oak Ridge High School football. The first time the Wildcats back in the state championship game since 1991. An opportunity to play in front of a great crowd here at Middle Tennessee State.
David, it's so nice to see the Cardinal and Gray back in the state championship game. It gives you just kind of a special feeling. Hopefully this will become a regular trip made by the Wildcats over the next couple of years.
Jennings at quarterback. Once again, will roll to his right, give it off to Williams, and Williams tries to throw a pass, and that's got to be grounding, Kevin. Yeah, there's the flag coming in there. It looked like he got to the outside, had no place to go, and just kind of heaved the ball, and that'll be another penalty against Ravenwood.
You know, David, that's actually kind of a heads-up play by Dylan Williams. He wanted to avoid getting sacked, actually, and wanted to avoid a really big loss, and he's actually going to get a big loss anyways, but it's kind of a heads-up play by Williams to try to make the loss not so severe right there for the Raptors.
We're on AM 1290 WATO, Oak Ridge Schools Television Channel 15, and indeed, that is intentional grounding against the Ravenwood Raptors. Getting late here in the second quarter on AM 1290 WATO, Oak Ridge Schools Television Channel 15. Another big step off back into Ravenwood territory, all the way back to the 48-yard line. So back-to-back big penalties against Ravenwood. So this drive that looked so promising, now it is a long situation to go for Ravenwood as Jennings brings them up once again. Back to pass. Now we'll run the ball off the field and cuts to the outside. Oh, nice open field tackle by Spencer Gulmire.
David, that's 2 Mr. Football finalists right there going one-on-one. Spencer playing his linebacker position, squared up T.C. Jennings very well, and then attacked his midpoint and took out his legs very nicely. Great tackle by Spencer Gulmire. We'll chalk up that victory to the Oak Ridge Mr. Football finalist, Spencer Gulmire.
Jake Vane not in the ball game right now. The Wildcats have Gulmire in the ball game along with Troy Venable. Now the Wildcats substitute and bring Jamie Qualls in the ball game. This is the state championship ball game. 14-7, the score of the Wildcats trailing Ravenwood here in the second quarter. Here comes Williams with a handoff. Oh, he is just stuck by Tyler Trent. No gain at maybe a yard or so on the play, but a big hit by Tyler Trent.
Smothering tackle right there by the senior defensive tackle, David. He tried to cut back, and Tyler Trent was in the cutback lane right there. The offensive line for Ravenwood allowed Trent to get through the line. I believe it's now going to be 4th down maybe for Ravenwood, or it's either 3rd or 4th down right now for the Raptors, and it'll be an interesting decision to see what they do right here.
Well, they're very slow updating the scoreboard up there. It's very difficult, and the clock hasn't been working the entire first half, so we just assume that it is late in the second quarter. as the ball's resting at the 50-yard line. 14-7 our score. State championship action here. The Wildcats have Danny Paris in the secondary, along with Connor Gulmire, Ravel Coffey, and J.J. Wells. Paul Bingham is in there. Rain falling here. We've had such a great day, and I thought, of course, driving down here, it rained on us, but then once we got around Lebanon or so, it looked as if there was going to be just perfect weather, and it has been very nice, the temperature, but now it is pouring down rain here at Middle Tennessee State.
Wind is blowing as well, David, and I know that we talked earlier, and the temperature wasn't that bad outside. I know I was out before the game and out down on the field, and the temperature was not bad at all. Probably about 45 or 50 degrees at the lowest, and really you don't even need that heavy of a jacket. So not that bad of a night, as long as this rain will subside a little bit here for the second half.
Delay of game, the call against Ravenwood. 4th down and long. Jennings back in punt formation from his own 45. High snap, he'll punt it. Some pressure. Got a long, wobbly kick away. It's going to bounce inside the 20 and roll out of bounds at around the 17 or 18-yard line, and that is where Oak Ridge will take over. 1st down, 10 yards to go. This late, do you try to get things going here, or do you just kind of run your offense and hope for big plays? What do you do right now?
Well, David, I think that you have to look at the kind of defense that Ravenwood comes out in. I think that a lot of times, the Wildcats right here have not had a whole lot going in the first half, so I don't think you do too much of a dangerous play. You might take one shot down the field to Ravel Coffey or so, but you also have the all-time leading rusher in your backfield, so he might be able to pop one. I think the Oak Ridge will probably run the ball, take a shot at breaking a big play.
1st down, 10 yards to go. Handoff goes to Spencer Gulmire. Cuts across the 20 to the 25-yard line. Tried to get outside a block that time by Oak Ridge as Tyler Trent did pick up good yardage, moving the ball forward for an Oak Ridge 1st down. One of the best runs in a while for Spencer Gulmire.
Yes, it was, David. The line got a really nice push on the right side. They ran the little lead play off of the right tight end. Spencer had nice vision, cut it back, got a 1st down.
1st down, 10 yards to go. Once again, the handoff goes to Spencer Gulmire, and this time he just barely got back to the line of scrimmage, which is the 30-yard line. We are under a minute here to go. 2nd down and 10 yards to go. And I don't know if the Wildcats are going to run another play or not. They're looking in for the play. Connor Gulmire looking at the sidelines there, waiting for the play, and I believe that's going to do it. The Wildcats will not run another play here in the first half. So, could have been a lot worse. The Wildcats didn't play particularly well on defense early on in the ballgame, but they only trail it by a score of 14-7.
Going to be interesting to see, David, how both of these teams adjust at halftime. Oak Ridge is going to have to go in and have to try to find something on offense to come out in the second half to do. Ravenwood probably very, very happy with where they are right now. They probably, they knew coming in that Oak Ridge was going to be very talented and very athletic. But one thing that Ravenwood did last week is they beat a very, very talented and athletic team in Ridgeway. So I think that Ravenwood probably feels very good about where they're at right now. Oak Ridge is going to have to go in and do a couple of things on both sides of the ball to be able to stop Ravenwood and pick things up. Oak Ridge trails Ravenwood at halftime of the state championship game here in 2005, 14-7.
Wildcats heading back into their locker room. We're on AM 1290 WATO, Oak Ridge Schools Television Channel 15, on the internet, prepradio.com. Our engineer is Darren Creek. Our statistician, Aaron Vargas, has statistics of this ball game, and of course we'll have that. Our camera personnel, we have Taylor Lane. We also have Josh Murray, Brian Salmonson, along with Michael Davis. We're on AM 1290 WATO. Halftime score, the Wildcats trailing Ravenwood here in the state championship game by a score of 14-7. We'll take a break. We'll send it back to Darren Creek. We'll be back to Middle Tennessee State University in the 5A state championship ball game following this 2-minute timeout. David Clary, Scott Munger back here, along with our engineer Darren Creek, our statistician Aaron Vargas, Josh Murray, Taylor Lane, Nick Suttles, Brian Salmonson, Michael Davis doing camera work, and they're doing some great work right now. I tell you, it is not easy to come from the field to our location all the way up here. It is a long ways down there, and they've been coming up and down as the Wildcats have finished their halftime warm-ups, and the Oak Ridge crowd becoming a little bit more excited. Spencer's trying to rev up the crowd. Ravenwood crowd going nuts across the field. Got 24 minutes to go to play this football game, and one of these two teams will be the 5A state champions.
And one of them will have a very good season, and hopefully Oak Ridge will come out. And Oak Ridge right now, it looks like they're going to be going from our right to left as they get the kickoff, and that is the way the wind is blowing. So right now it would be great for them to do a lot of positive things and put a lot of pressure, maybe even go up a score right here in the third quarter.
Coach Miner was saying we got to run the ball, and that is definitely the truth as we wait for the rest of the television people to get set here in the second half. A driving rainstorm. It was so nice until just about the last 5 minutes of the first half, and then the rain, the skies just opened up here, and this is the first. I don't think we've ever played a state championship game in the rain. Played it in freezing cold temperatures against Maplewood here on the ice. Played it in perfect conditions at Vanderbilt, but although it was under 30 degrees and it was cold to your Germantown ball game, it was not as cold the Jackson Central Mary ball game, and those are the only ones that I actually remember. Is Spencer standing back at the 10-yard line.
How was that 58 game, Dave?
I knew you were going to say that as soon as I said that. As here's the kick by Ravenwood, and we're underway. Another squib kick in the middle of the field, takes a convenient hop, fielded by the Wildcats at the 30. And that's Jake Vane moving the ball to the 37-yard line, and that is where Oak Ridge will take over. First down, 10 yards to go. So Jake hadn't had a whole lot of opportunities this year to play offense, but he's had a couple of kick returns in this one, and I know he'll feel good about that, getting a chance to run the ball. The Wildcats will take over first and 10, moving right to left, wearing their all Cardinal jerseys with very wet gray silver pants. Ravenwood wearing black pants, white jerseys, and red numerals. The Wildcats have it. First down, 10 yards to go, trailing 14-7, 11:54 to play third quarter. Quarterback is Connor Gulmire. I formation, handoff Spencer Gulmire into the hole across the 40, to the 45, to the 50. Down the field he goes to around the 47-yard line. An excellent hole and a nice run before Michael Becker, and I've said his name a lot, makes the stop for the Ravenwood Raptors.
Great start right there. Actually, looks like they did a stunt, and they were stunting right into the teeth of exactly where Oak Ridge was running it. Picked up a good block by Daniel Johnson and freed Spencer to pick up a big first down for the Wildcats. J.J.
Wells split out to the far left, a single man far to the right. Oak Ridge from the eye. Rain is stopped again here at Middle Tennessee. Spencer moves the ball forward this time. Not a lot of yards, about a yard maybe at most on the play. He's tackled at around the 46-yard line of Ravenwood. 11:23 to play, third quarter. Zach Keller there on the stop for the Raptors. 14-7, Ravenwood on top of the Oak Ridge High School Wildcats in the state championship ball game from Middle Tennessee State University. The ball is at the 46. Ravel Coffey and Alonzo Douglas enter the game as receivers. Alonzo's going to split out to the far right. Second down, 9 yards to go. The rain has stopped completely, it would appear, here at Middle Tennessee State. I formation for Connor. Handoff Spencer, big hole for a moment, then moves the ball for about 3 yards. That not much more than I thought he was going to go a little farther than that because the hole opened up huge. Then somebody filled it quickly. Ravenwood stops the Wildcats. Isaiah Williams is there on the stop. It'll be third down, then about 5 yards to go. The Wildcats have got to continue and get some momentum here. Third down and 5 yards to go.
Big play, 3rd and 5. You know, here is kind of a guessing game. Do you put it in the air? Do you let Spencer have it? It'd be great because I don't know that they would go for it on 4th down right here unless it's 4th and very, very short.
Wildcats down 14-7. They stack the line of scrimmage, showing blitz. Connor rolls to his right into the teeth of the defense. Is about to be sacked. Throws the ball to a man who's open. The pass is dropped at the 39-yard line. Connor barely missed being sacked, and the Wildcats will be forced to punt, although I have no saying. Yes, Aaron tells us that Ryan Kennedy's going to come into the game to punt the ball. It'll be 4th down and about 6 yards to go. The Wildcats, once again, couldn't hold out the onrush of the Ravenwood Raptors.
Tell you what, Connor did a great job just by getting rid of that ball. They ran the bootleg and had 2 or 3 guys in his face. He threw it away. Could have been completed, but it wouldn't have been enough for the first down.
Somebody just jumped off sides. If it's against them, it might be close to a first down, although they're pointing towards Oak Ridge. Wildcats will be backed up 5 yards if indeed it's against the Wildcats, and they are backing up 5.
You know, it's not a big play right there. Actually, one of the Wildcats jumped, but it's actually with the wind at his back gives Kennedy a better chance to stick the ball closer to the 1 or to the end zone versus going in for a touchback.
Ravenwood leads 14-7. Ryan Kennedy will indeed punt the ball away. 4th down and 11 yards to go. Casey Reed is the long snapper. Here's the snap. It's good. The punt is away. High kick. Very, very high. It's going to bounce and be downed at around the 14-yard line, and that is where Ravenwood will take over. First down, 10 yards to go, 14-7. Two receivers split to the right, two to the left. Shotgun formation for T.C. Jennings, 1st and 10, starting this drive at his own 14. Dylan Marshall carrying the ball forward and belted after a gain of about 2. It'll be 2nd down and about 8 yards to go. The stop for the Wildcats, I believe, made by John Baldwin of the Wildcats, along with Tyler Trent. The Wildcats have Ravel Coffey, J.J. Wells, Connor Gulmire, and Danny Paris in the secondary. The linebackers are Spencer Gulmire, along with Daniel Johnson, I believe, and Jake Vane. Wildcats down 14-7, 9:34 to play, 3rd quarter. Jennings brings them up, 2nd down and about 8 yards to go. Up to the line they'll come once again. Quarterback, T.C. Jennings from the shotgun, 4-man front. He's going to run the ball himself, moves the ball forward, and is hit at the line of scrimmage, and still is able to move forward to around the 20-yard line. A flag went down on the play, hopefully not a face mask. Looked like a flag was thrown in at around the 19-yard line. The officials are discussing it. It'll be, let's see, personal foul, face mask against the Wildcats. So the Wildcats have stopped him. It would have been 3rd down and long, but it's a personal foul. They'll step yardage off against Oak Ridge.
Boy, what a big penalty that is. And that's one of those things you can't really do a whole lot about, but just the fact that it's one of the big ones, it's a 15-yarder, that just really killed them. They had held them on that play. Big break against the Wildcats.
9:15 to play. They walk the penalty yardage up to the 35-yard line, where it's now 1st down, 10 yards to go. The Wildcats down 14-7. Haven't had anything going offensively since the opening drive of the ball game. Wildcats could use a turnover right here as Jennings brings them up. 1st down, 10 yards to go. Handoff goes to Dylan Marshall, moving the ball forward for a gain of about 2. And Spencer Gulmire there on the stop once again. It'll bring up for the Ravenwood Raptors, 2nd down and about, we'll call it 7 yards to go. Tyler Trent there on the stop for the Wildcats. 8:46 and counting, 14-7. We're in the 3rd quarter. Ravenwood on top of Oak Ridge. Their first ever state championship ball game. The Wildcats haven't been since 1991. 3 receivers split to the right. Shotgun once again. 2nd down and a long 7 to go. Marshall moving the ball forward. Cuts across the field. 1st down. Moves the ball to the 50-yard line and is tackled at that point. It's a gain of about 10 yards on the play, more like 12 yards. You know, he's very deceptive. He doesn't look like he's just what you call a speed merchant, but he just picks and chooses his holes. It'll be 1st and 10 in midfield.
I tell you what, he probably is. He's probably the most patient, one of the most patient runners I've ever seen. Instead of just, starting up full speed, he waits and sees where his little gaps are, sees where his linemen are blocking for him, and then he just explodes into those gaps.
14-7 the score. Ravenwood on the march once again. They have the ball at the 50-yard line. This time TC is going to be directly under center for the first time in the ball game. 3 receivers split out to the far left. 4-man front. TC rolls, hands it off to Marshall, tries to move the ball forward, no place. He's hit at the line of scrimmage, might have gotten a yard. Jordan Murray there on the stop. I would never get out of that shotgun if I were Ravenwood, the way they've been able to move the ball. 7:46 to play. Trent there on the stop as well. It'll be 2nd down and about 9 yards to go. Ball just across midfield as the Raptors move from left to right here in the state championship ball game. You're listening to it live on AM 1290 WATO, Oak Ridge Schools Television Channel 15, and on the internet, prepradio.com. 2nd and 9. Moving the ball forward, their quarterback, T.C. Jennings. He has what appears to be another 1st down before he's tackled by Danny Paris. You think, one guy would key on the quarterback, but he's just so elusive, and he moves the ball to the 40-yard line where I believe it's another 1st down.
It's amazing to me, and one of the things that Aaron and I talked about, they have had 2 people with stats, and it's amazing that the fact that the quarterback has run it, and the Williams has run it, and Williams has caught all their passes. It
is shy of a 1st down. They need about a half a yard. TC sneaks the ball forward, and he does have the 1st down now as he's pushed back, but it's not going to be enough. 6:49 to play. The Wildcats trailing 14-7. The way this game has been played, the Wildcats can ill afford to give up another score here. Wildcats have not been able to move the ball since the first drive. 1st down, 10 yards to go. The ball's at the 40-yard line. The Wildcats have never lost a state championship ball game. They do trail by only 7 right now. 1st down, 10 yards to go. Ravenwood comes up from the shotgun. 3 receivers split to the right. 4-man front. Quarterback moving the ball forward. Flags are down. Might be a Could be, as they move the ball to the 35-yard line. And the stop is made there by Eli Manning, who's playing defense. A quick flag came in right in the middle. Could be, let's see, as the official comes over to tell us, it is going to be holding against Ravenwood. I kind of thought where the flag went that might be the case, and they'll step off yardage against the Ravenwood Raptors. The Wildcats a big penalty a little while ago. In fact, big penalties throughout the game. They had an offside penalty on defense. They had a face mask penalty on defense. You just cannot have mistakes like that in state championship ball games. This team is so good, they wouldn't be here if they weren't good and can't give them extra help, and we have.
And to be honest, though, that they've shot themselves in the foot a couple of times as well. That last drive, they had a lot of good things going, and then ended up like 4th and 30 or something.
It's now 1st down and 20. The ball's back at the 50-yard line. Jennings coming back from the shotgun. 3 receivers to the right, a single man to the left. They're offsides, and they're going to be penalized 5 more yards. 14-7 is our score. Ravenwood on top. 6:18 to play in the third quarter, and regulation here anyway at Middle Tennessee State University. The Wildcats will watch them be penalized another 5 yards. It'll be 1st down and 25 yards to go. The penalties, Oak Ridge has been penalized 4 times for 32 yards. They've been penalized 5 times for 35 yards. Ball's put back at the 45-yard line. 6:18 to play third quarter. T.C. Jennings once again from the shotgun. Same formation, 4 receivers right, single man to the left. Jennings is going to run the ball. He's hit and dropped right at the line of scrimmage. That time it was designed looked like a quarterback draw, and there'll be no gain on the play.
It was a quarterback draw, and the defensive line did a great job, maybe the best they've done all night, of getting a little bit of pressure. Looks like Eli Manning and I believe actually for Oak Ridge, it looks like Kevin Summers was also in on stop.
It'll bring up 2nd down, 25 yards to go, 5:50 to play in a very fast-moving third quarter. Here comes Jennings and company up. The ball is at the Ravenwood 44-yard line. Jennings barks the play, rolls to pass, feeling pressure, lots of pressure, turns the corner, and is going to be hit and driven out of bounds. Stops the clock finally at around the 44-yard line. It's a loss on the play of about 3. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 27 yards to go. And the clock is stopped with 5:31 to play in the third quarter. Good defense by Oak Ridge.
It really was, and you could really see the speed. And it looks like Spencer's coming out of this ball game. He's hobbled up a little bit. Of course, the coach had to tell him to get out, but Spencer's not going to come out on his own. But he is hobbled up just a hair on the sidelines.
His right leg, whatever it is, he's trying to walk it off, whether it be an ankle or knee. It'll be 3rd down, 26 yards to go. T.C. Jennings, a quarterback, 6'2". Senior has started every single ball game this school has had a football team. They need to get to the 30-yard line of Oak Ridge. Marshall's going to move the ball forward, belted at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 4th down and 25 yards to go. And Wildcats will get the ball back. Leonard Blair there on the stop, so the Wildcats come forth with a good defensive stand, and the Wildcats will drop Ravel Coffey, who has returned 4 punts for a touchdown this year. He'll be dropping back at around the 25-yard line, and T.C. Jennings will punt the ball away.
Well, he's punting into the wind, too. That's a big factor right here, and we've seen Ravel Coffey time after time make a big play. What a great time to do one right now.
Here's the snap. It's good. Punt is away. Nice kick. Ravel's going to field it and try to return it. 20. Cuts outside. Oh, and just tackled at the 20-yard line. I don't know how far he would have gone, but it's good coverage once again. Flag is down on the play, probably a block in the back, and the Wildcats will have terrible field position again if that's the case. Paul Kleckner there on the stop. If it's another block in the back, they'll start the drive at the 10-yard line, and the official's going to come over to tell us with 4:48 to play in the third quarter. It is going to be holding against the Wildcats. 14-7 Ravenwood. It has been a field position ball game. Wildcats have not had much field position. Ravenwood has been able to drive the ball. Still only a 1-touchdown ball game. 14-7 is the score, and the ball's put back at the 11-yard line, and then a timeout is asked for on the field. We'll take one with them. We'll send it back to Darren Creek. 14-7 Ravenwood, back in 30 seconds. Ravenwood leads at 14-7. Connor Gulmire back out there at quarterback. Spencer is the tailback. Daniel Johnson at fullback. 2 receivers to the right. 1st and 10 Oak Ridge. 4:48 to play third quarter. Now let's see. Play is about to be halted again, and they're waiting for the television timeout guy, the guy in the yellow hat today. As we look up on the commercial, they're still giving a commercial for Love Homes. I don't know if you're seeing that in Knoxville, there in Oak Ridge, but that's what we're watching here in Murfreesboro as the wind continues to blow very hard from right to left. That's the direction the Wildcats are heading, waiting for the television timeout to conclude. A great turnout of fans on both sides of the field. Wildcats brought a ton of people. Ravenwood has a lot of fans here. Wildcats have it. First down, 10 yards to go. They trail by 7. 14-7 the score. Wildcats have Tyler Lane, Tyler Trent, Eli Manning, Alex Stewart in the ball game. Josh Whaley, Jordan Murray is the tight end. The Wildcats have, let's see, Daniel Johnson at fullback, Spencer Gulmire at tailback. Oak Ridge first down, 10 yards to go. The ball at their own 11. Connor brings them up from the 11. Handoff Daniel Johnson. Daniel moves the ball forward for a gain of about 4. Close to it, maybe been closer to 3 as Jamie Wilkerson makes the stop. Wildcats just haven't had any field position here, Scott, as they have it now. We'll call it second down and 7 yards to go. So it was a gain of about 3 on the play. Daryl Miller and J.J. Wells enter the ball game as receivers. The Wildcats, let's see, they try to get the ball to their tight end. That's a good play to run as they come to the line. I formation once again, 4:19 to play. Second down, we'll call it about 6 yards to go for a first. The ball is at the 14-yard line. Connor barks the play, comes up to the line, will throw the pass. Quick pass is caught by Ravel Coffey. No, it's Daryl Miller, or is it just J.J. Wells? He's driven back hard. Got the ball up to the 20-yard line, and that is where his official forward progress is. So to bring up third down and about a yard to go for the Wildcats. 3:54 to play as the Wildcats need about a yard here.
Yeah, David, there's a nice little throw and catch just around the stop pattern, and J.J. Wells catches. He eludes the first guy that comes to him, and the second guy, I believe that's the free safety, comes over. Once again, another big play in this ball game, 3rd and 1 for the Wildcats.
3:38 and counting in the ball game, 14-7. The Wildcats have the ball right outside the 20. The Wildcats come to the line. They need a yard for a first down. Third down, 1 yard to go. I formation, Oak Ridge. Ravenwood stacks the line of scrimmage. This toss sweep to Spencer. Spencer moves the ball for what appears to be close to first down yardage at the 21-yard line. Try to work around the left side. The spot is not great. In fact, he'll be short. Well, I don't know. The nose of the ball is pretty close to it. They're going to have to bring the chains on. I think it's going to be short by about 3 inches, but we are so far away. They're going to bring the chains onto the field. 2:59 to play, third quarter, 14-7. The Wildcats trailing Ravenwood in the state championship ball game. Wherever you might be listening to us, we appreciate you listening to our broadcast on WATO. The chains are brought onto the field, and they'll put the chains down and they'll stretch them. And let's see, it is going to be, as we get no signal, it is going to be short by a foot. The Oak Ridge crowd, the Ravenwood crowd, this stage of the game, it's tough. I mean, you're down 1 score here. You need a foot. Let's see if Coach Stevens just says, I have faith in this offense to get 1 foot, and they are. The Wildcats will go for it, or appear to be going for it, on 4th down and less than a yard to go. They'll stack the line of scrimmage. The Wildcats come up from the eye. The Wildcats need a foot for a first. Everyone is stacked up close. Connor Gulmire under center. We'll hand it to Spencer. Spencer has the first down. Boy, there was a little bit of nail biting going on right here as the Wildcats gambled at the 20-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 Oak Ridge.
Tell you what, the big-time call right there. If they don't get it, of course, Ravenwood is going to have about 20 yards to go for a touchdown. They do get it. It's just giving them the signal that we have a great offense, and we're going to show you what we can do with it.
2:47 to play, third quarter. The Wildcats have the ball at the 23-yard line. It's been kind of slow going for the Wildcat offense. Oak Ridge has only 160 yards of total offense. 14-7 is the score. 2:35 to play, third quarter. Oak Ridge with receivers left and right. Connor will hand it to Spencer. Spencer moves the ball forward for a gain of about 3. It's been slow going for the Wildcats. Just waiting for Spencer to break one as Daniel Becker once again makes a stop. They run to the ball so well. I mean, when you think there's a big hole, it just closes so quickly.
They are. They're very quick, undersized a little bit. I think their offensive line outweighs the defensive line by probably 30 pounds per person, but they run to the ball extremely well. And this Becker kid, an outstanding football player.
Second down, 6 yards to go. 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. Wildcats down 14-7 as we play the state championship ball game in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Thanks for tuning us in. I formation. Connor Gulmire brings them up. Second down, 7 yards to go. Trying to get yardage on the ground. Everyone's stacked on the line of scrimmage. The pitch will go to Spencer. Needs a block from Daniel. Got it. 30. Moves the ball for a first down across the 35-yard line up to around the 36 before Scott Ford makes the stop. But it's just 5 yards here, 6 yards there. The Wildcats being held down to their usual big plays by an excellent defense.
Very much so. And, you know, we've seen Oak Ridge so many times. They'll run it for 3, they'll run it for 5, and all of a sudden they're going to break one for 20. And the 20-yard run has just not been there tonight.
Wildcats have it at the 36-yard line, moving right to left. 90 seconds to play in the third quarter. Wildcats down a touchdown and an extra point. Connor wants to pass, has time, floats it down the way to the man who's there, and it's batted away. And I think the Wildcat receiver had to become defensive back. The man was in pretty good position. Ravel Coffey was the intended receiver. It'll be second down, 10 yards to go. 1:19 to play, third quarter, 14-7. All the scoring, I believe, took place in the first quarter. As since that time, the defense, the good news for the fans out there, the rain has stopped here at Middle Tennessee State. It came down and rained for about 10 minutes solid, and now it's come down to completely to nothing as the Wildcats come up. Second down, 10 yards to go. From the 36, they're offsides. Spencer gets the call and moves the ball. They no flag on the play. It looked like they were coming across the line, and they have scouted us completely well. We ran right into the teeth of their defense as Isaiah Williams makes a stop. It's a loss of 3 on the play. Third down and 13 yards to go.
I agree with you. They have done a great job of scouting. That time Oak Ridge ran the sweep. They brought a couple guys. They had a stunt on the linebacker who went to the outside and makes a big play. Looks like I agree with you. May had jumped off sides, but they didn't call it and loses about 3 yards.
51 seconds to play and counting. Alonzo Douglas and Ravel Coffey come in as receivers. Third down, 13 yards to go. The ball is at the Oak Ridge 33-yard line. Ravel splits out to the left. Couple guys on him. Alonzo Douglas to the right. Oak Ridge from the eye, and then play is halted. Is it delay a game against Oak Ridge? It's going to be dead ball foul, delay a game against Oak Ridge. The Wildcats slow getting the play in. It's now going to be third down and 18 yards to go. You know, the Wildcats have not played their best on offense, but you got to credit. You can't take anything away from Ravenwood. It's whether they're in the state championship ballgame. This is an outstanding team. 14-7 the score, 31 seconds to play. Now the ball is walked back to the 28-yard line. The Wildcats need a big play here. Connor Gulmire at quarterback, I formation. 3-man front, 4-man front for the Ravenwood Raptors. They're showing blitz. Connor hands it to Spencer. Spencer moves the ball across the 35 up to the 36 where it'll be fourth down and 9 yards to go with 24 seconds to play. And now the Wildcats will be forced to punt. And I don't know if they'll get it off here in the third quarter or will it be in the fourth and final?
Well, you'd really hope that, they're going to get it off, and you want them to do that because now they've got the wind right behind their backs. If they wait till the fourth quarter, they'll be punting into the wind.
8 seconds to play. Snap, punt. Gets it away, low line drive kick, very returnable. There's a near clip. He tries to get to the outside, no place to go. Now gets to the outside, then is pushed out of bounds by the Wildcats at around the 26-yard line, and that is where Ravenwood will take over first and 10. They'll take over in the fourth quarter. We'll take a break. 12 more minutes of football. One of these two teams will be the 5A state champions. We'll be back in 60 seconds. TC Jennings brings his team up. 2 receivers split to the left. The wind continues to blow hard from right to left here in the direction that they're heading as the Raptors have it. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball is at the 29-yard line. 12 minutes to play in this ball game. 14-7 Ravenwood on top. Wildcat defense playing with looks like Eli Manning in there. Wildcats also have Kevin Summers, Leonard Blair. Oak Ridge also has John Baldwin in the ball game. Jennings will bring him up from the shotgun. First down, 10 yards to go. The Wildcats showing a little blitz here. Jake Vane, the linebackers, shifting in the Oak Ridge defense. Jennings back to pass, feeling pressure, throws a little screen pass, and it's incomplete. Wildcats got pressure that time, and Spencer was coming up on it and almost had an opportunity, I thought for a second, to pick it off.
Had a chance, but the ball was thrown really low, and I'm not sure who had the pressure, but it's great to see them once they do decide. The first time they've tried to throw the ball here in a long time, and Oak Ridge was in there, had great pressure on the quarterback.
Second down, 10 yards to go. The ball's at the 29-yard line. TC brings them up. He'll come up from under center once again. 3 receivers to the left, a single man to the right, single running back. Jennings hands it to Dylan Marshall, trying to get wide, moves the ball forward for a gain of about 6. And he goes out of bounds, I believe, stopping the clock with 11:49 to play in the ball game. It'll be Jake Vane there on the stop. It'll be also Connor Gulmire out there. It'll be for Ravenwood. Third down and about 4 yards to go. Dylan Williams on the carry once again for the Raptors. Third down and about 4 yards to go. And this is a big play in the ball game. Ball's at the 35-yard line. Jennings brings him up once again from the shotgun. 11:49 to play in the ballgame. 14-7 Ravenwood. Jennings to pass. Crossed the way. Oh, what a great catch. Outstanding catch at the 45-yard line. Very reminiscent of some of the plays as Scott Collier makes the catch. Very reminiscent of some of the plays Oodlewall made in the second half of that ballgame.
Just ran the quick post over there, and the ball was thrown, and where the receiver had to go down and dive to get it, he does that in a big first down for the Raptors.
Ball's at the 45-yard line. They're moving right to left here. 11:38 to play in the ball game. Ravenwood on top, 14-7. Here comes the Raptors to the line. Wildcats trailing by 7 points. 4-man front. TC Jennings from the shotgun once again. First down, 10 yards to go. Quarterback hands it to the back, and he moves the ball forward for about 8 yards. Got hit at the line of scrimmage, but just kept on going. Ran right over the top of the defensive line before Ravel Coffey's ever able to make the stop. He doesn't look that strong from here. And in fact, I sat this close to him and spoke to him, and he's not a very big guy, but obviously he's got a lot of power and a lot of shiftiness. It'll be second down and 2 yards to go. 10:59 to play in the ball game. Ravenwood would love to just work the clock off, get in the end zone, and win the state championship. The Wildcats need a stop right here on defense. TC Jennings, quarterback for the Ravenwood Raptors. Second down, 2 yards to go. From the shotgun, he's going to run it himself and move the ball forward, where he's tackled by Jordan Murray. And Jennings is slow to get up. He got his leg twisted badly down on the play. And TC is very slow to get up, but he is going to get up. It's a first down as Josh Whaley makes the stop for the Wildcats, but not before Ravenwood picks up another first down. As the crowd on both sides comes to their feet, 10:33 to play in the ball game. First and 10. The ball is at the Oak Ridge 42-yard line. TC looks like just a Fran Tarkenton. He loves to run the ball, and he's got a lot of moves. As the Wildcats stack the line once again, 2 receivers to the left. Handoff goes to Marshall. He moves the ball forward and no yardage. Wildcats stopping once again. Paul Bingham for the Wildcats along with Josh Whaley. It'll be second down, 10 yards to go. 10:07 and counting in the ball game. It'll be second down, 9 yards to go. The Wildcat crowd being urged on by the Oak Ridge defense. Second down, 9. Of course, Ravenwood will take as much time as they possibly can to get each play in. Wildcats need a stop on defense here. 9:50 to play.
Absolutely. Right now, a lot of momentum going Ravenwood's way. They're just keeping those chains moving, exactly what they need to be doing when they're up 7 points.
TC Jennings, a quarterback, hands it to Marshall, cuts inside and is belted. And right at the 40-yard line, it'll be a gain of only a yard. 9:31 to play. It'll be for the Ravenwood Raptors. Third down, and we'll call it 9 yards to go. A flag down on the play. Let's see what the call is. Official comes over to tell us holding against Ravenwood. It'll be third down and 8 if they don't take the penalty. 9:27 to play. What do you do right here, Scott?
I believe you go ahead and take the penalty. That'll back them up to right at midfield. And I tell you, it's 2 tackles in a row that Spencer Gulmire has just lowered the boom. He got the quarterback Jennings the first play, and then the running back Williams on this last play.
They step yardage back to midfield, where it'll now be second down and about 19 yards to go for a first. The Ravenwood Raptors on top of Oak Ridge, 14-7, 9:26 to play in the ball game. Wildcats down 7. 4 receivers split out to the left side for the Raptors. Jennings brings him up. Usually this is when he runs. From the shotgun, he rolls, he runs, he's sacked. Belted pretty good behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 47-yard line. John Baldwin there on the stop for the Wildcats, along with Spencer Gulmire. It'll be third down facing Ravenwood. Third down at about 20 yards to go.
Now this is the play here, David. This is the play right here that Oak Ridge has got to stop them and get the ball back.
Ball's resting at the 47-yard line, 8:48 and counting in the ball game. 14-7 Ravenwood. State championship game from Middle Tennessee State University. Ravenwood comes up. They need to get to the 32-yard line for a first. Wildcats 4-man front. Shotgun formation. Third down, 21 yards to go. Back to pass. Feeling pressure. Rolling. Looking. Fires it. A wounded duck. It's going to be caught and dropped. Should have been caught at the 10-yard line. And the Wildcats got pressure, but the quarterback delivered a perfect pass. It's dropped by Adam Marshall. It's now 4th and 20. That could have easily been inside the 10-yard line or even farther into the end zone.
Yeah, that may have been the play of the ball game right there. Oak Ridge needed to make a stop. They did. Fortunately for Wildcats, the receiver drops it. Number one, Marshall gets behind the secondary for the Wildcats, and the quarterback throws a strike, and he drops the ball with a big play as Oak Ridge right now appears to get the ball back on a punt.
4th and 21. Ravel Coffey dropping back to his own 35-yard line. Wildcats down 14-7, 8:25 to play. Punt is away, high kick, angling over towards their sideline. It's going to roll dead at around the 26-yard line. It's still rolling. I'd get over there and touch it myself as it'll roll down at the 23. So the Wildcats have a long field to drive. 3 timeouts on the clock. They've got 8:09 to play, trailing 14-7, and once again the Oak Ridge offense will come onto the field. The Wildcat offense has sputtered since the opening drive. Let's see what the Wildcats can do here. They'll take over first down, 10 yards to go. All the scoring took place in the first quarter. Wildcats will get the ball at the 26-yard line of Oak Ridge. The Wildcat offense led by junior quarterback Connor Gulmire. The tailback is Spencer Gulmire. As the Wildcats don't have the right personnel on the field, and they have to call a timeout. They weren't sure what they wanted to do, and with 8:09 to play, Wildcats either need to call the timeout. Yes, they do call a timeout, and that is the case. The Wildcats blow one of their timeouts here. I'm not sure if they had the right play, the right personnel. Either way, they had to use one of their timeouts. They trail 14-7. Wildcats of Oak Ridge and the Ravenwood Raptors for the state championship. It's been a nail-biter. Hasn't been like the other ball games here. This one's coming right down to the wire.
You know, after the first 3 series, I thought this game was going to be 56-55 in an overtime game. Whoever had the ball last was going to win, and didn't turn out that way at all. Of course, the defenses have both really done a good job. And Oak Ridge, you know, we've talked all year about how explosive this offense is. They want to show what they can do. This is the time. This is when they need to be clicking on all cylinders. Plenty of time. 8 minutes is an eternity in a football game. Don't have to do anything. You know, don't have to throw it long every play and make it happen quickly. You got Spencer Gulmire, grind it out. We wouldn't mind him seeing running the fullback, maybe mix it up a little bit in the middle as well.
The Wildcat offense on the field. The Wildcats have Tyler Lane, Alex Stewart, Eli Manning, Tyler Trent, Josh Whaley, senior lineman on the front, along with Alex Stewart. He's a sophomore. The Wildcat tight end is Jordan Murray. Wildcat quarterback is Connor Gulmire. Receivers, Ravel Coffey, along with Alonzo Douglas. We're in a television timeout once again as the two teams are just standing out on the field. It's kind of nerve-wracking, especially when you're down 14-7, basically, to have to just stand and know what's ahead of you. And now they wave it off, and we're about to get set as the television shows the Ravenwood band across the field, it would appear, as the Wildcats come to the line. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball's at their own 26-yard line. 2 receivers split to the right, I formation Oak Ridge. Spencer Gulmire's the tailback, Daniel Johnson the fullback. Connor Gulmire hands it to Spencer. Spencer is hit at the line of scrimmage and is belted for no gain. It'll be second down, 10 yards to go. Ravenwood is doing a great job holding Spencer Gulmire down. 7:58 to play. It'll be second down and 10 yards to go.
Looks like he was tackled that time by Daniel Becker, and once again, he has made some just tremendous collisions. And how many times do you see Spencer, just roll out of that one and continue for additional yardage? That time, once Becker hit him, he had no gain at all.
7:40 to play in the ball game. Second down, 10 yards to go. The Wildcats moving left to right here. Up to the line they'll come. 2nd and 10. Two receivers split to the right. Connor Gulmire, quarterback. 2nd and 10. Showing blitz. Spencer Gulmire moves the ball forward for only a yard. Wildcats keeping it on the ground here. And it'll be now 3rd down and 9, and they'll be forced to pass. Travis Hansel there on the stop. The Wildcats 2 straight running plays, and it'll be 3rd down and 9, 7:11 to play. Now things are getting a little dicey. If you give the ball back to them, you might not ever get the ball back.
Absolutely. It's a big play right here, 3rd and 8. They need the first down, need to make the change go the other way.
Here comes Oak Ridge to the line. Alonzo Douglas split to the right. Ravel Coffey to the left. Ravenwood fans on their feet. I formation once again. 4-man front. Connor Gulmire back to pass. Little quick pass to Alonzo Douglas. Makes one man miss. Moves the ball forward, but he's short of a first down by about 3. It'll be 4th down, 3 yards to go. 6:39 to play in the ball game. 14-7. Wildcats have used one of their timeouts. Wildcats still 6.5 minutes to play. You got to make a decision what you're going to do, whether punt or go for it. They're going to punt. Ryan Kennedy's going to come onto the field, or at least they're going to bring the punt team on, see if they will punt. The Wildcats, let's see if they give it to Paul Bingham and let him run it on a fake. Saw that in one of the ball games. 4th down 4, they're going to punt it. Kennedy gets it away, gets a nice wobbly kick. It's going to be fielded by the Ravenwood Raptors, and they blast him at the 30-yard line. That is where they'll take over. 1st down, 10 yards to go. Gaston Mitchell down there on the stop for the Wildcats. 6 minutes to play in the ballgame. The Wildcats down 14-7. Got nothing done on that last drive.
Absolutely nothing at all. When they needed to come up biggest, and they couldn't get it done. And right now the defense has got to come up big. And right now the ball will not probably at all be put up in the air. They're going to run it, try to grind out 6 minutes and 3 seconds for the first state championship.
14-7. The Wildcats trailing. Ravenwood comes up. T.C. Jennings at quarterback, a Mr. Football finalist. 4-man front, Oak Ridge. 1st and 10. 6:03 to play. He drops back to pass. Has some time. Now rolling. Running for his life. Fires a pass and throws it out of bounds. Helps the Wildcats' cause. Stops the clock at 5:54 to play in the ball game. It'll be 2nd down, 10 yards to go.
What in the world are they thinking, David? They have run the ball so well all game. They need to run out some clock, and they come out and start throwing the ball. I just don't get it.
Well, you do the same things all year long, and this is their style of offense, and it works for you. But I agree with you. It's not sound football. 2nd down, 10 yards to go, but they've also been able to get 10 and 11 yards a whack, too, as TC brings them up once again. Shotgun formation. They're moving right to left. 5:54 to play in the ballgame. 2nd down, 10 yards to go. Jennings from the shotgun. Dylan Marshall, the handoff, gets the call and is belted behind the line of scrimmage. Wildcats make a big play. John Baldwin makes a big play. It'll be 3rd down and long facing the Ravenwood Raptors. The ball's put back at the 23-yard line. 5:39 to play. 14-7 Ravenwood on top of Oak Ridge. 3rd down, 15 yards to go, and right now is the play of the ball game. The Wildcats get a stop. They get their hands back on the ball. They pick up a first down. Things are not looking good for the Cardinal and Gray. Jennings brings them up. 3 receivers split to the left, 1 to the right. Wildcats on a 4-man front. 3rd down, 15. Quarterback is a screen pass. Boom! He's blasted at the line of scrimmage, and the Wildcats will get the ball back. So, not a lot of time off the clock.
Actually, it looked like they ran the same formation as that Utah pass, but instead of shoveling it, the quarterback just dumped it off, and immediately, as soon as he caught the ball, I believe Paul Bingham was in there to make his stop, and what a big stop that was.
Wildcats should get great field position. Ravel's going to drop back near the 50-yard line. Be great to see Mr. Coffey take it in for a score here. 4:47 to play in the ball game. 14-7. 4th down, snap, punt. Wobbly kick, long. Ravel's going to field it, back up, and return it. Needs a block, turns the corner, 40, 45. Moves the ball to around the 47-yard line. The Wildcats will have good field position, so it's now up to the Oak Ridge offense here. 4.5 minutes to play in the ball game. 1st and 10 Oak Ridge.
see what they can do. We mentioned earlier they needed to get something done and ran 3 plays, and I believe maybe gained 1 yard. And this time now they've got still 4.5 minutes left to go. They've still got 2 timeouts, or do they have? The scoreboard says they have 3, but they used 1 of those, so they do have 2 timeouts left. But they've got great field position at their own 47-yard line.
Ravel Coffey of the Wildcats splits out to the left. Alonzo Douglas to the right. First down, 10 yards to go. 4.5 minutes to play in the ball game. State championship game from Middle Tennessee State. Connor Gulmire back to pass. Needs some running room. Runs it himself. Cuts to the outside. Connor needs to get outside. Cannot. Dropped at the line of scrimmage. It'll be second down, 10 yards to go. Paul Kleckner there on the stop. Connor just couldn't pull away to get any yardage. It'll be second down and 10 yards to go. 4:14 to play in the ball game.
You know, it looks like they're playing nickelbacks back there. It looks like they've got 5 people in the secondary and doing a great job of covering the great receivers that Oak Ridge has. And now maybe since they are in a nickelback package, maybe now it's time to come back with Spencer.
Only 3:57 to play, though, in the ball game. The Wildcats down 14-7. J.J. Wells splits to the left. Darrell Miller to the right. Single coverage on him. Connor Gulmire back to pass. Fires it. Pass caught. Breaks a tackle and is belted out of bounds. They say the clock is continuing to wind at the 45-yard line. Looked like he got belted out of bounds. 3:36 to play. Did not get out of bounds. It'll be third down and about 3 yards to go. The ball is at the 44-yard line. Third down and a yard to go. Wildcats with only 3:25 to play. Ball is at the Ravenwood 44-yard line. Clock ticking. The Wildcats could ill afford another delay penalty. They move the ball back. Up to the line they'll come. The Wildcats, third down, 2 yards to go. Ball is at the 45-yard line. 3:09 and counting in the ballgame. Wildcats need to run the play. Connor Gulmire under center. Handoff Spencer Gulmire, and Spencer moves the ball forward. He's shy of a first down by a yard. 2:59 to play, and the season hinges on this play. The Wildcats are watching the time tick down. 2:52 to play in the ballgame. Third down and a yard to go.
Well, this is it. I mean, you actually I never would have thought it would come down to a 4th and 1 from the 44-yard line, but Oak Ridge has got to get a first down here. Looks like they're putting Jake Vane and John Baldwin, putting some big hosses back there to block for Spencer.
Fourth down, less than a yard to go. Only 2.5 minutes to play in the ball game. The Wildcats have it at the 44-yard line. They need about a foot. Connor Gulmire, junior quarterback under center Tyler Trent. He will take the snap, hand it to Spencer, and Spencer will not get it. Ravenwood stops the Wildcats, and Ravenwood is going to win the state championship, barring a turnover here. The Wildcats went right up the middle, and Ravenwood takes over. Great defense all night long from the Ravenwood Raptors, and their offense is on the field. The Wildcats can only stop it twice. 2:17 to play, and Ravenwood appears headed for the state championship.
Wow. That's impressive defense right there. I would have never thought it. They put a couple big tight ends and thought maybe they might try to run a sweep over there to where the tight ends were. Instead, they ran the isolation play, and just somebody on the defensive line made a great stop by Ravenwood.
Shotgun formation, handoff to Dylan Marshall. He moves the ball forward and gains about 3 on the play. 2:11 to play. It'll be second down, 7 yards to go. When do you start using your timeouts here? Wildcats will use one right now. 2:04 and counting. 2:02 and counting. Wildcats continue to call timeout, but finally it was retrieved. Wildcats just could not get the yard they needed. Tried up the middle a couple times, and there was nothing.
I'm not surprised that Oak Ridge lost this game. I'm not surprised, but I tell you what really shocked me is that they would have lost this ball game on a 4th. Well, they didn't lose it, but they didn't get that 4th down. I just knew for sure they'd get a first down there, and then you never know what happens. But I was shocked that they did not get that first down.
2:01 to play in the ball game. The Wildcats have 1 timeout remaining. It's second down, 6 yards to go. 14-7. Kind of a similar situation that we saw in the Riverdale game 2 years ago when the Wildcats thought all was lost, and then the Riverdale Warriors fumbled the ball. But this team just doesn't seem to make a lot of mistakes. They are a very well-coached football team. They're solid on defense. They're solid on offense. The Wildcats have not turned the ball over, but still, they haven't been able to get anything but 7 points on the board. Shotgun once again for T.C. Jennings. Second down and 7. Handoff goes to Marshall. Trying to get wide. Moves the ball forward and is hit at the line of scrimmage. And it'll be third down at about 6. 1:53 to play. Let's see if the Wildcats use a timeout.
I believe I saw a flag on the play, David. I'm not sure. Is there a flag on the play?
Holding on the Ravenwood.
All right, there we go.
And you know, I don't know what you do here. If you'll give them an extra down here, and we'll give them more time. Time is now your enemy. I say you take the play as it stands and make it 3rd down and about 6 yards to go.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's what you've got to do, and hopefully that they'll have to, kick the ball back to Oak Ridge, and let's see what the Wildcats decide to do. They will decline the penalty, which it will bring up 3rd down and 6.
Minute 52 to play in the ball game, and timeout is indeed asked for by the Wildcats. That is their final timeout. Great turnout of fans here, and have seen a very exciting, tight ball game here. The Wildcats trailing, though, 14-7. Just couldn't get it done offensively. Of course, the game's not over. Still life as long as there's time on the clock. There's still life, but just have not been able to get it done offensively.
Absolutely, and it looks like that Ravenwood has done a great job of scouting this offense. It seems like every time the Oak Ridge needed a big play, they've stunted in the right position, or they've blitzed, or whatever they've done, or slanted, or whatever they've done, just seemed to work.
Wildcats trailing 14-7. Use their final timeout just now. It'll be for Ravenwood, 3rd down, 6 yards to go. They'll come up with T.C. Jennings at quarterback. The Ravenwood fans making noise. The Wildcat fans coming to their feet now. 4-man front. The Wildcats need a stop right here. Quarterback hands it off to Marshall. Marshall moves the ball forward. He is denied a 1st down by Danny Paris. It'll be 4th down and a yard to go. 1:45 to play in the ball game. 4th down and 1 yard to go.
You've got to go for it if you're Ravenwood. It looks like they're going to call timeout to measure. I do believe that they're short, but actually Oak Ridge called a timeout, so puts a little pressure on them. But I believe they go for it here and try to keep first down wins them the ball game.
I didn't know Oak Ridge had any more timeouts, honestly. I thought they used one earlier, unless there was a television timeout, and we just assumed it was Oak Ridge. It'll be 4th down and a yard to go. The Ravenwood Raptors stopped Oak Ridge in a similar situation just a moment ago. The play of the season for these seniors and this dark side defense is coming up. They need about 1 yard, 1:40 to play. If they stop them, they take over at around the 45-yard line. If they get a 1st down, Ravenwood can start the celebration and win their first ever state championship as a school. The Wildcats and Raptors, totally different. Wildcats with so much history, so much tradition, while the Raptors only have 4 years of football, but they've done a lot in 4 years. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And, of course, we still got a lot of football game to play, a minute and 40 seconds. But what a great job these guys have done. And, nobody ever heard of this team before about a week ago.
Well, we know who they are now as the Raptors come up. T.C. Jennings, 4th down, 1 yard to go. The season hinging on this play. T.C. under center, 4th down and a yard, and he's going to call a timeout. He came up behind center and stops the clock with 1:40 to play. The Wildcats have stacked the line in scrimmage. And just more drama right here. For those of you listening to us on AM 1290 WATO, the punt team's going to come on to the field, and that gives Oak Ridge some life. And I don't blame them. You make Oak Ridge drive 90 yards. Let's see if Oak Ridge actually believes it. I would get Revell Coffee back there regardless of where it goes. You don't want to turn it over. The Wildcats do have life here. If indeed they do punt it. Let's see. Scott?
Well, you've got probably the best kick returner in the state, and I at least put him back there. And you never know what kind of big plays he can make. And he's not going back there yet, but he's kind of meandering and goes backward. You got to put him back there and let him see what he can do.
All I know is I hope that the Wildcats don't jump off sides as Jennings is talking with their coach, Brian Rector, across the field there, and he is going to get in the field in the punt formation, but the Wildcats cannot jump off sides here. Wildcats trail 14-7, 1:40 to play. Ravenwood in punt formation. Wildcats appear to be lined up off sides here on the right. At 4th down and a yard to go. Don't jump off sides. Here's the snap. It's good. The punt, he's going to fake it. There's the 1st down. You knew that was going to happen. And he runs out of bounds at the 41-yard line, and that is going to be your state championship for the Ravenwood Raptors. You knew he was going to fake it because with only 1 yard to go, the way he runs the ball, everybody had come up tight on the line, and he just accelerated like a track star and got to the outside. And it's 1st down, 10 yards to go for Ravenwood. Only 94 seconds to play in the ballgame.
Big-time play and perhaps the ball game there. And, you mentioned that it looks like for sure he's going to fake the ball. And where's your pursuit there? They're coming inside and nobody out there. And great call as they run the stall defense, and the clock will run out. And what a great season. You hate to. I know everybody's disappointed, but what a fantastic season for this Wildcat team.
The play is halted. They already threw Gatorade and stuff out on the field, which should be a delay of game penalty.
Well, that's got to be a unsportsmanlike penalty right there, a delay of game at the absolute minimum. I mean, you can't do that in the middle of a ball game with a minute and a half left. To me, that's probably unsportsmanlike before you do that.
They are going to be penalized here 5 yards, I believe. And you got to feel for the seniors for the Oak Ridge Wildcats. Of course, they've had a great year, as you said. They're going to close out at 13-2, barring a miracle right here. But all the Raptors are going to do is take a knee here. It'll be first down, 15 yards to go. And play is halted. Now they're pointing out on the field at the Gatorade and such that was poured out there, and they're having to sweep it off the field, which, I'm picky here, but I think that's a penalty they should have called.
Well, I don't want to take anything at all away from this team. This Ravenwood team has done a great job, but that right there is that's more than a delay game. That's unsportsmanlike. You don't do that. If it's the last play and they're counting down maybe 10 seconds or whatever, you got to overlook it. But with a minute and a half left to go in the game, you can't do that. I'm
just going to say this: the Ravenwood Raptors appeared to be better prepared to play the Wildcats than the Wildcats were for this Ravenwood team. That's just, as you said earlier, they look like they knew exactly what the Wildcats were going to do on every single play.
They guessed right, and nobody's been able to do that all year. So I'm not exactly sure. The coaching staff for them has just done a fantastic job of scouting Oak Ridge because, like you mentioned, every single thing that Oak Ridge did, it looks like they had an answer for it.
They take a knee, and it'll be second down, 15 yards to go. The 5A most valuable player in this ball game is Dylan Williams, the Ravenwood running back. The defensive most valuable player is Daniel Becker, and I have no argument with that. Those two guys have played outstanding football tonight here. It'll be second down, 15. Wildcats cannot stop the clock. They can only hope for the miracle, but they're just taking a knee here. As you said, it's a great season for the Wildcats. I know there's a lot of disappointed people here, a lot of disappointed people back in Oak Ridge listening to us on the internet, but Ravenwood was the better team tonight. That's all you can say, and you have to take your hats off to them. They were the better team tonight.
They were, and they came out and that opening kickoff, one of the best kickoffs. I know, who was it? William Blunt, I think, returned one for a touchdown. Other than that, nobody's really gotten a whole lot on this kickoff return team, and they did, and kind of set a tone, and then they took it in and scored, and they were ready to play. I can guarantee they were not scared of Oak Ridge at all.
T.C. Jennings about to take the final snap of the ball game, and that's your ball game. The Ravenwood Raptors are the 5A state champions. They knock off the Oak Ridge Wildcats by a final score of 14-7, and it's already the celebration taking place down on the field. A very disappointed Oak Ridge Wildcats as they march out to the center of the field. Congratulations to Brian Rector. Ravenwood is the state champions in Tennessee, and they are happy. They were jumping up and down. Here comes some of their cheerleaders. The fans are not allowed onto the field, and great sportsmanship except by one as the Wildcats go to shake hands with the Ravenwood Raptors. And regardless, if you're unhappy or disappointed, you go shake hands with the opposing team.
Absolutely. Like I mentioned, you hope Oak Ridge has showed a little class, and they're all down there. And then, you look at these seniors, and you look at these seniors that have been just contributors, the Spencers and the Danny Paris's and the Jake Vanes and these guys that we call, your hearts just, feel for them. But, the sun will come up tomorrow.
Right, it will. You talk about the seniors, and there's a lot of them, and that's the bad news. This is a great season, but you mentioned some of them: Spencer Ravel, John Baldwin, Jason Lewis, Ryan Kennedy, Michael King, Danny Paris, James Branson, Clarence Threet, Dominique Brown, Mark Little, J.J. Wells. The list goes on and on here. Casey Reed, Jamie Qualls. Wildcats will be losing Daniel Johnson. Oak Ridge will also be losing Jake Vane, as you mentioned a moment ago. Leonard Blair will not be returning. Tyler Burkle, Eli Manning, Jesus Rizzo, senior, Josh Whaley, and Stephon Lewis, Jarrett Burgess, Ben Luther, and Jordan Murray. That's a big senior class, and as I named off all those guys' names, those are some key performers. And taking nothing away from the Ravenwood Raptors, they were the best team tonight. The Wildcats just were not with their A game tonight.
No, they weren't, and you know, I'm not going to sit here and say I wasn't really around them. I think they were ready to play. You can't say they were overlooking these guys. They got beat, and you know, the first couple of series they were just kind of playing from behind and never could catch up. And
field position was
field position. You know, the punt down here that it started on the 12 and took 13 minutes to roll down to the 1, and you know that hurt. And you know, my hats go off to both the Ravenwood and Oak Ridge. Has nothing. Hey, there's 2 teams here. You know, I don't know how many teams there are in 5A football. Guess what? There was only 2 of them that made it here. And my head, you know, what a season when you beat Farragut twice, you beat Riverdale, you beat Sevier County, all the rivals that Jefferson County, you know, these teams that had been traditional, they beat them all this year. And it's hard now, but it was a fantastic football season.
Let's hand the mic over to Aaron Vargas here. He doesn't look like he wants to read them, but here's the final scoring and the final statistics.
So not a whole lot of offense and even less scoring in the second half. But the Wildcats got their first drive started on their own 37, and Spencer Gulmire got the ball down the field with a 16-yard run, but then they were forced to punt. The next drive by Ravenwood, as they got the ball down the field, it also resulted in a punt. The Wildcats got the ball back, and they had to punt. After that, the Ravenwood Raptors started driving their own 29, and then an 8-yard run by Williams, a couple runs by T.C. Jennings gets them down the field. And then on 3rd and 21, a deep pass is thrown, but the ball was dropped. And it would have been close to a touchdown, would have been put around the 10-yard line, but it was dropped, and they were forced to punt. The Wildcats couldn't get anything going as they were forced to a 3-and-out. They punted the ball back to Ravenwood, who was also forced to a 3-and-out, and they punted the football. The Wildcats got the ball with about 4 minutes left in the game as they started a drive on their own 47. An 8-yard pass from Connor to J.J. Wells makes it to 3rd and 2. Then a 1-yard run by Spencer Gulmire puts it to 4th and 1 with about 2.5 minutes left in the game. The Wildcats had no choice to go for it, and the Ravenwood Raptors come up with a big stop, and that stop ended up being the game winner as Ravenwood was able to run out the clock to win the state championship 14-7. Now for the overall statistics of the game. Oak Ridge had 9 first downs and 193 yards. Ravenwood had 16 first downs and 280 yards. T.C. Jennings had 20 carries for 93 yards, and Dylan Williams had 27 carries for 159 yards. T.C. Jennings threw 9 times, which he completed 4 of them for 28 yards, 3 going to Dylan Williams for 18 yards, and 1 going to Scott Collier for 10 yards. Now for the Wildcats. Spencer Gulmire was given the ball 23 times for 107 yards. Daniel Johnson was given it once for 4 yards. And Leonard Blair was given it once for 2 yards. Connor Gulmire went 7 for 12 through the air for 68 yards. 3 passes going to Ravel Coffey for 38 yards. 1 going to Alonzo Douglas, or actually 2 going to Alonzo Douglas for 16 yards, and 2 going to J.J. Wells for 14 yards. And that's all the offense in this game as the Wildcats come up a little short, 14-7 here in MTSU.